and I will be back in again tomorrow, same back
time to take a trek across the GTA and go and get the old MRI on the knee ski.
I'm sorry, bro.
This
guy's got all sorts of appointments all over Toronto. This guy's going to be gallivanting and escapading.
I'll be going. It's like going back to Chicago and back essentially when I'm driving.
All right, guys, it's been real. Send you over to the big boys. See you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, boys. And hey, man, Joe, sometimes you got to know what you're dealing with, man. You get that MRI, get that knee checked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always have to know what's up. I got super lucky, straight up. Everyone talks about how long they have to wait for MRIs in Canada. I got mine straight up in 1 week for the Achilles. And it's like, and everyone was like, how lucky you, like, they're like, what are you talking about? You got an MRI in 1 week. No, I recognize. It turns out I was incredibly lucky when it came to that. Overall.
How long has Joe been waiting?
A couple months, I think. Yeah, since May.
Yeah, my mom got it in less than a week.
In less than a week. You know what? Maybe I don't. You know what? I don't know why. Maybe it's a location thing. Maybe it's. I'm not sure what the deal was. Although the doctor was pretty sure.
You got to get lucky. You got to get lucky.
Yeah, like it was. Every single test indicated there was an Achilles rupture, and you need to find out whether surgery was going to be the right thing to do. So maybe it's the seriousness. I have no idea. Yeah. The market. Shock is surprising to anybody. It tried to break the low and didn't. Well, it did and then didn't. And we're still gliding ever so gently, slowly to the downside is the only way that I can describe it here. Crypto, Bitcoin. I say crypto a lot when I mean Bitcoin. Bitcoin managed to bounce off 112,000, but that's about it. It's so weird, and I was actually talking to one of the algo guys about this. It's not weird. Yesterday, we had so much volatility, that big V shape. And then across the board, like so many places, it just feels like not much of anything happened. Like I look at Tesla, which went $17 like top to bottom, has spent most of the day inside a $5 range for Tesla. It's just been that kind of a day. There's a few things that have been moving around and no questions asked. Bullish is actually having a bullish day.
Yeah,
believe it or not. But there's not much else that's going crazy in one direction or another. So it's like a chopped up kind of day. Like for me, like every trade there's a win, there's easily a loser, and nothing has followed through. If you've tried to have like something that just goes the entire way in one direction and breaks out or breaks down, it just really wasn't happening. That being said, it's 2 o'clock. We got Jackson Hole. We got Jackson Hole. We had Walmart this morning. Everyone's anticipating Nvidia. There's still a lot that can get this market moving. And sometimes you need to have this consolidation day to set things up for the storm that is incoming. I heard a lot of discussion about those Nvidia earnings and Adara. I tend to agree with Adara. If they can find something to nitpick in those earnings, they're going to find a way to sell it because that's how it usually goes. But typically that's just been a buying opportunity when that's happened.
Yeah, a week, just over a week now, under a week now until Nvidia earnings. Welcome back to the show. Good, well, I didn't hear much in midday, but obviously it was a good one. So thanks everybody for supporting that. We're short right now, but Palantir, yeah, you know what? I did want to look at Palantir to see what was going. We're short the TQQs right now. Okay, up to 156, just touched 157 again. This has been real indecisive so far today. Oh, by the way, look at this number right now.
It's
71% right now, and going lower.
Fei's shooting
going higher, 73% now. So yeah, not looking good. It was 94%. We got a couple of different economic numbers that have come through in the last couple of days, pushing this thing down 20% more. But still looking like 3/4 of Wall Street. You know what the thing is? I got to. What is likely the federal change federal target rate? I just want to see interest rate traders. Okay, so this is just interest rate traders. I was keep on saying Wall Street, but you know, so banking on what's going on with the interest rate right now, 3/4 think it's going to be a cut. I don't know what to think. I'm still thinking that's maybe going to be no cut and just a straight pause, but I don't think the market would like that. And if that comes through, I would say that at that point you want to look out below. I mean, it might signal that the Fed is fine with where we are. It doesn't mean necessarily the market is, but with you know most of the earnings now through, we had Walmart there yesterday, pretty bad, down 5%. And I was actually saying this to Neil. Walmart's like, you've done nothing in Walmart pretty much all summer. Well, good thing you didn't sell down there. Hopefully that didn't happen. And most people obviously are not selling up here. That's the split. aren't selling up here either. But yeah, you're right back to sort of, and we got it. This is of course going all the way back, but this is December of 2024. So if you just sat in Walmart, that doesn't really pay. Yeah, we have lots of time there, Andre. If you're sitting in Walmart, Walmart, if they pay a dividend, it's not very big at all. It's been basically dead now for a year. It's only August, so back to December. But it's also was right back here also in March. So I think there's going to be some buying zones coming in. Yeah, exactly. Like this 94, 95 is huge. This is why you want to take advantage when they miss on earnings. We did that on Eli Lilly. We took advantage of it, and now that's hugely in the money right now. This is what you wait for. You wait for moves like this in solid companies that get down to the 200 period moving average, and then you start buying. So yeah, we'll wait to see. Here comes the futures back in a little bit. We're pretty happy with that. It's time, as Andre says, for the rundown. So let's go over to the desk with Sharif.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where we decide what we talk about every afternoon. You saw Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there, join us in the chat every day. Get in, throw in that $sign, and throw in whatever ticker your heart so pleases. Here's a look at all four major averages. There's only one green. It's on the bottom left of your screen. That is the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, up 0.15. On the top left are the triple Qs, down 0.55%. On the top right, we got the SPY down 0.4, and then the bottom right, last but not least, the Dow down 0.33% on the day. So all the major averages, for the exception of one in negative. The Palantir is the first stock as decided by you guys. Not a bad day for Palantir. We're up 0.1%. A great recovery off that 142 low yesterday. Kind of maybe setting up for a head and shoulders pattern here. It declined about 15% in the past 5 sessions, but this tech bull, talking about Danny Ives, still remains very bullish, guys.
Yeah, Danny Ives is a...
You talking about Palantir, Danny
He's incredibly consistent. He's bullish. I mean, you can...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like there's an internal... The phrase I like is there's an internal consistency to the man's thought, which I can get behind. At a bare minimum, at least be consistent. You know, when people are like,
these guys are all shills, man. I mean, this guy has his own ETF, and it's loaded with tech names.
I got no issue with that.
What is he going to say? No, but what is he going to say? He's not bullish. I mean,
I got no issue with
these guys are hilarious.
I got no, because it makes it good for the market. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for that type of activity or those types of differing opinions and all the expertise, it just creates a little more action for trading. Unfortunately, the lack of action on Palantir got me today. It did end up not doing anything or much of anything. 158, which I liked for a breakout. Obviously it didn't happen, so let's start with why I liked for a breakout. That's a heck of a V-shaped recovery. And I came in thinking, all right, either we're going to do this and break it and just go screaming to the upside and ripping the faces off the shorts, all that kind of good stuff, and we'd be running into the mid 160s, right? Like that was scenario 1. Scenario 2, we can't break it out, and then I look for the under the prior resistance and look for the short to break down. It's just neither one happened, so it ends up being a chop fest here on Palantir, which you could describe as forming, I don't know, some kind of a wedge that it will not break. Will it not break it the rest of the day? I'd like to think no. So I'm still with the plan of if it loses under this 155 bar, I'll take a shot at it. If it happens to be the afternoon, then so be it. But yeah, until the 155 buyer ends up losing the battle and this wedge breaks to the downside, I'll sit it out. Look, all the fundamental of this liquidity grab underneath for a recovery, and then going to the daily chart, sort of bottom tail wicking the 50 period and then holding it. All of that's true. It's just stock hasn't done anything with it today except go sideways. So it's still setting up like it could break out and it could squeeze, but until it happens, I have to respect that if that buyer crumbles, should be looking short.
All right, yeah, so Palantir, I put some offers out to get filled at 158. We haven't had that yet. They'll expire today. If it doesn't hit, that's fine. I expect to be higher tomorrow. If we hold these levels, I expect way higher tomorrow. I think Jackson Hole is going to be a huge bullish event. So just the fact get filled today, see if we can do that. It's too bad that we never went back up to 158, but we came pretty close, man, 157.50 right there. So we'll see. I mean, obviously missing out a little. I'm trying to get of like 5-10% of the position at most. I have it across many different portfolios, and it's been quite the run there in Palantir. So I would just say, you know, stay the course here on this name. You know, those of us that, I mean, if you look, there's price targets all over the place on every single stock, right? There's price targets of Tesla for 5,000. There's price targets for some strange reason on Ethereum of 10,000. And there's all these different things that are out there. So for someone to slap a $40 price target on this, puff, puff, pass. I mean, whatever they want to do, man. These guys, all these guys we keep talking about are just a bunch of shills, right? Like, you can go right now and pay for Josh Brown's picks. If you want to go on cnbc.com/Josh Brown, and for $100 a month, he'll tell you what to do, right? So I mean, this is what this is all about. We see it with Ethereum. You're seeing it now with Citron and Palantir, and it just that's part of the market. And as we said, it's completely allowed, and it always has been and always will be. I mean, it's people made millions of dollars selling fake coins to people as well, billions of dollars. You know, and those days were there, and now the days are back with a lot of these plays here again. So I would just say, everybody, do your own work. If you think Palantir is the future, then you know, it's probably worth buying something right around here right now at the 50-period moving average. For me, because it's already in, I'm thinking like down into here, if we can get into there, 120 to 125. Obviously, the market's going to have to crank to get down there as well. But yeah, I think I would buy some a little lower than where we are right now. But, you know, happy with this position. Like, if you would have asked Palantir shareholders 3 or 4 years ago if we would take Palantir at $40, of course we would. But now we've already seen 185. And I think there's higher plays coming for PLTR. So yeah, I'm going to stay the course there. Get a little bit out tomorrow or today, in case tomorrow is not the greatest situation for Jackson Hole, but I think it'll be fine. And I think tomorrow's market up many, many points tomorrow, I think. So, but yeah, it should be fun. I'll be watching from the sidelines.
It was up 9.25%, and it's off the highs, guys, but it's trading higher after the company announced the flagship ES8 SUV has entered showrooms across the country and is on display in more than 300 retail outlets, guys. I'd show you the car, but I forgot to pull it up.
Do you have it?
What was it?
Oh, the SUV, the Neo ES8. It kind of has. I find it really
Nice
quickly.
looking.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
But it looks like every other SUV on the market. Looks like the Volvo, I
That's
think.
what I was going to say. It has a very Volvo-ish look. Of course, the battery swapping is their what's the word? I don't want to use the word gimmick. It's their shtick is not right. Anyways, it's their edge. It's that's what they're all about for NIO. I don't necessarily care about any of that. I don't know that that's going to be the trend that wins in the future, but. What trend did happen was the uptrend broke this channel 2 days ago. It was a good long that went to this resistance, consolidated when everything dumped, and then broke it out to this resistance spot right here at pretty much exactly $5.68. That top wick is today's top wick. So when it got there and I hadn't been long, there's your topping tail, there's your all day long trend break. It broke the trend and has been very slowly doing what Chinese ADRs do in the afternoon. Not much. But that notwithstanding, because if it gets to VWAP, like it's sometimes those things actually move, and other times they just completely die in the afternoon. That being said, when you zoom out a little further on Neo, there's potentially more brewing here, because if you go further back, let's go a lot further back, and you look at the type of trend lines that are breaking here, this goes all the way back to this lower September of 2023. Here you had an earnings dump, and that's where this trend line is breaking on NIO. So there's some higher time level stuff that could actually get this stuff going. We were talking about maybe you start to see that program buying we'd see on Chinese ADRs where they'd go ham. That's not even today. Like, it's up 9%. It didn't do any of that today. We're talking the stuff where you can just see it in the tape. It's just unbelievable. But these are big trends that are breaking out here on NIO, so you want to I want to look to play some continuations. Seems like at least a temporary bottom is in. I don't think it goes meme crazy back when it was a meme craze. This was one of those stocks that when it would start to go in the morning, you would just join the ride. I don't know that that's coming back, but certainly this seems like it's made a nice bottom and is breaking out. So we can look for continuation in the next days and weeks.
Morgan Stanley price target 650. Operating expenses down. Analyst valuation sentiment anywhere from. Here, you want a price target? 31.30 somebody has on this thing for NIO. So, yeah, look, we talked about it earlier this morning on that break. It looked pretty healthy of a break there. I think this stops. All fun comes to an end around $6.20. So if you're somewhere up here, I think I would sell NIO. But again, like, you know, not traded today, but we brought it, was on our watch list, and there it goes, straight to the top side. So whenever I see something like this, and I know it was something that we talked about, I just always feel FOMO because missed opportunity. Like, could have easily got long there. I mean, there's the breakout today. We thought CoreWeave was going to break out, but sometimes it's the simpler trades, and it was NIO. Excuse me, right there, taking out 530. Like that closing, forget about all these wicks. You can't always just like top tick and say, well, you know, if we break there. Like it just happens to be that both of these tops are alike, so that's fine for a top. But for a straight break, you might want to look at closing prices, and that was 530 right there. So if we sort of zoom back out here and see 530, that's essentially where we opened. We bounced around and then ripped off that. So yeah, great trading there on NIO, up 10%. EIEIO. The farmer said, what is it? Old MacDonald had a cow, EIEIO, on his farm.
He had a cow.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
He had a farm.
And on his farm, he had a cow. I don't know what he has, man, but he doesn't have any NIO tractors.
I guarantee you he does not.
Yet. Maybe he has a Caterpillar tractor.
You know he does.
As well, but.
By Caterpillar. It's funny, like that's all I ever see. I see the cat everywhere.
Buy some John Deere.
Robinhood, they got a chance. There's going to be a company coming out of the S&P 500 in the next few months. Robinhood might get their shot.
Maybe it will.
Bet you that cow tasted delicious. No, seriously. Hood, up 1%, guys. On the back of this headline, they unveiled Cortex AI tool. So this is actually pretty cool. The feature, first released under Robinhood's new Cortex platform, pulls from breaking news, analyst reports, technical data, and the company's proprietary data sets to explain why a stock is moving and why it matters. That's pretty cool. So you kind of just hover over the stock. You see an outlying area of price action, and the AI digests it, explains the tool for you. Should be nice for retail traders.
Hey, Robinhood. Yeah, so Robinhood, yeah, look, you know, sports betting markets, prediction markets, all of this, it doesn't really move the needle for me at all. Most people that are involved in this stuff already have accounts like that. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to have for sure if you're not into it, and another thing to get addicted to, so that's great. But no, 118, 117, you know, these highs are there for Robinhood. We keep on saying buy good quality companies at the 50-period moving average. I'm not buying this one here, though. I think when it breaks it, we go a lot lower. It's just, again, like valuation matters when something hits the name. Nothing's really hit Robinhood yet, and we're still pulling back. So I don't know, a downgrade, something like that, hitting this market. I don't really know where the bear case is here other than valuation, but I like the stock. It's up 4x, right? It's up, like we already talked about that. From the 200 period, like look how far extended you are from all of this. I mean, that's great, but stocks do have a tendency to pull back in. So yeah, I would think that, wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Left and company put a price target of $18 on Robinhood. Like, who knows? You pull it out of their ass just like I just did, and eventually you'll win, right? And so all the short sellers getting smoked on the way up. Let's see if they can make some money on the way back down. And then you just want to look for some support and some resistance. So I like Robinhood, no problem. But for me, if we're going to talk about sports gambling and things like that, I'm already into DraftKings, lower than this. And it's also having a little bit of a problem right here trying to break through. So I still think that we got this top area of 47. Remember, we're not talking too much about these wicks. It's about these closing prices. So that's $47. If we can come in tomorrow or someday and take out that 47, then I think that's sort of the catalyst to get back up to the upside. So if you're trying to buy Robinhood for prediction markets, I wouldn't. I would stick with DraftKings. Yeah, that's that look right there. DraftKings, first mover advantage. I like that stock. I still like Robinhood. We sold some SoFi. I don't even know what that price is right now at 24. So
still
same
right
price as where it is right now. I think I like SoFi a little better for the banking purposes there. So I think I'd choose SoFi over Robinhood at these levels.
I think they all end up about the same thing. They close to the same thing. I mean, I like SoFi for the same reason. It didn't end up being necessarily the right decision. I couldn't buy Robinhood up there. It's like almost 30 times sales. Like there's moments where valuation matter, and we're possibly running right up into a moment with the Fed where that could temporarily be true again, because it happens from time to time. That's where we get some of those pullbacks, right? So that's what it feels like is happening here. But SoFi, just in the same space, this is distinctly double topped, and it's not just like on earnings, this was the high. And then 2 days ago, we had a run to that 25 and then another fail on SoFi. Did a nice V-shaped recovery. And then suddenly this afternoon, like I was short it at the close price yesterday. So that was more of a flat trade. That was a losing trade. And then I just saw 23.25. Someone's been holding it, or whatever, the stock's been holding at that price. I shouldn't always say somebody, like it's some conspiracy. But you can see, like someone's been holding the stock at 23.25 this entire time, all afternoon. So really just looking for the scalp trade back into VWAP after observing it on SoFi. Still very bullish, the stock today. More bullish than Robinhood, but it still feels as if the top is in for some of these names. And when I say that about Robinhood potentially going in the index, I've heard nothing suggesting that. Usually on the first couple of days where you know there's going to be one, people are already speculating. You don't even really see any of that online just yet. It's just that last time everybody wanted Hood to get in. But it should make for interesting, maybe the last rebalancing of the year, like somewhere in December.
Yeah.
That could be a solid. There could be like a solid addition and deletion if it is something like a Robinhood. Every now and then they can be good, but you want the big ones. And I feel like we haven't had, like, not since Palantir, we had one that was really anticipated going to the S&P, and it's just the hype that I think Hood would get if they were to be chosen.
Hey guys, Open Door up 11 1/3. No specific catalyst again on Open Door, but you know it's been running lately. Today, analysts are gauging that it's rising up again as a wave of optimism comes into the real estate sector. Maybe because we're looking for rate cuts next month, with the housing industry in the States kind of been flat as of late. So Open Door, guys, 11 1/3.
Real quick here, we're just getting some more out here on the futures. This is just the TQs. We shorted there, got stopped out, then we started again, and now we're just kind of getting. I mean, it's tough because it doesn't show the shares that we get, but you can tell by the average price where we got most of our shares from. So we're going to wait to see right now if we can drip. See, we did not go back down through this 20-year. We've been holding this level now for almost an hour in the futures, so definitely on high alert right now. We'll average in again right where we're at this top, and then we're going to use, just because we haven't talked about our stop out, the VWAP. So VWAP is 75. So we're going to go short in there right now for the TQQs. Yeah, Open Door, I heard Joe mention this. I don't think a quarter point, I'm just going to disagree with Joe, he's not here now, but a quarter point doesn't do anything for mortgage rates. You need to get a lot lower right now, I feel like. A cut that's going to be happening in September. Remember, stocks are forward looking. So if they're already basing in 94% chance of a rate cut, now it's down to 73, of course. If that actually mattered to Open Door, I feel like it would have gone. This is a short squeeze. And again, it's just talking heads trying to get their book up again. So we do know that these guys are long down there. And as you guys know in the stock market, the rich keep getting richer. So they put out notes. The retail follows this action. It gets up to $4 or $5. So there's a lot of retail money to be made in here as well. But I guarantee you, this is another losing stock for retail traders. Just like GameStop was, just like AMC was, net. I think Open Door will probably be the same thing. But we can keep trying to find different reasons to buy it. And it may be that winner, right? There are stocks like Carvana that continue to work. Unfortunately, I don't know too much macro about the company itself. It's just right now, it's gone from 70, like you want to talk about going up triple, quadruple and stuff like that since April on Robinhood. This name has gone up. This is $1. I mean, you can even go back even lower than that, like 58 cents back on July 1st, up to $3.50. So yeah, there's you know, there's a lot of love for this name, but I could also see it getting a little carried away as well. So open door right now. I feel like it's might have seen the top. It's broken through $4 before and done this little dance. So I think if you're in this name, you're still looking for that $4 to break long and then hold above there. So I'd give it like the 1 or 2 count. If we can hold above $4, then I think it would be a go time for that stock. But yeah, you know, the rates have to come down a lot before the housing market changes. So
like what we were pricing in, I guess at the beginning of the year would have been monstrous for these guys, because maybe it was the beginning of last year. People were saying 5 or 6 quarter point cuts or something like that. So you would have been much more significant. But I think at least one maybe cold water for the squeeze. This stock, like today, it's done 170 million shares, and that's the least amount of volume it's done in the last 5 or 6 days. And the total short float, at least the most recent, was about 30 million. So the thing here is, like, the shorts keep having ample opportunity to get out. Like, the only way that this does a squeeze is if it's trapping. It needs to be really trapping a heck of a lot more people short. So if you don't see that go up, like it's one thing if there's limited volume, small float, and that kind of thing, and then you get those big breakouts. But even on a day like today, like, where was the follow through when this was breaking through 350? Like yesterday's highs. I mean, none. It goes into first resistance and does nothing. So like the trade that I was looking for on door, it is what it is, was when this breaks down through 3. Because until, like, if it's gonna squeeze, then you want some parabolic stuff that you can join on higher volume than before and all that stuff. But if it breaks out underneath $3, then I just want to be a part of that short. And maybe it needs to base out somewhere else. But it seems as when we have decreasing volume into a play like this, where clearly the shorts can get out as many times as they want to, you need an event to cause them to jump back in and then get blown out for some real big juice. Otherwise, I mean, you guys can go long off the $3 level. That's pretty reasonable, as that's a support. But I'm going to look for that short. It obviously didn't come in today. I had the order this morning. It didn't break down. I'll probably put the order in tomorrow, unless it could be at $4 tomorrow that I don't. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a flat bottom break at 3 at some point on open door. Not so much on Nvidia, any squeezes, because that stock, it doesn't really enlist the same confidence in the short, I don't think.
Yeah, it's down 0.3%, Neil. So close to flat. Couple of analyst comments today. Wedbush maintaining outperform on Nvidia, boosting the price target to 210, from 175. Likewise with UBS, maintaining their buy rating on Nvidia and bumping that price target up from 175, guys, to 205.
Yeah, so like, again, if we just follow our plan today, we're cruising with Nvidia, but it just came back into 174 again and bounced off those levels. So we took it in the pre-market. It came like ripping down there all morning. Eventually found some kind of a base down there, and then whoop, nothing but love to the upside there for Nvidia, all the way to 177, and then the fade back to 174 again, and then here we go. So basically a nothing burger kind of a day for Nvidia. Still down 0.34. You know, we say if you like the stock, you like the stock, and I think that this is a stock that you gotta like. You have to wait for dips, and this may be good enough, but again, 3 days from now, 4 days from now, we'll have earnings next Wednesday, and we'll hear the CapEx story, and at that point, I don't think we'll return to highs. I think you'll get an opportunity to dip buy something in that name, but again, another name that's more than doubled from this April low, and not much has changed for them. You know, we know that the Chinese story is still there. We're going to have to wait to hear how tariffs eventually settle down. I mean, why are we even talking about tariffs still? Sometimes I don't know. But we're going to wait for that story. We just heard in our ear that Trump and Carney, Prime Minister Carney here from great country of Canada, they had a meeting and nothing happened.
As usual.
As usual. So, you know, there's the move down here for Nvidia. I think you want to buy it, you know, dip buy something around 165 and start your positions. To take something from Jim Cramer, again, it's a hold, don't trade. I'm not getting out of any Nvidia. I'm happy with this one. It doesn't matter where you first bought this name or anything like that, but we all have stories about having 10 baggers, 50 baggers, so on and so forth. Nvidia fits one of those, and I think it can go up from here. So I still like Nvidia. The days of buying these stocks on the cheap are over with now. You know, the most expensive, not the most expensive, the most valued company in the world is Nvidia right now. So yeah, if you like the stock market, you gotta like this name.
Yeah.
And I would say buy dips, man. I don't think too much is changing in the space.
And our little bets we didn't really bet, but I think we were sort of going back and forth. This was just for fun.
Oh, AMD?
AMD and Nvidia getting to 200, I believe. Was it first or was it by Nvidia earnings? I don't know if we were giving it a time limit. For some reason in my head, it was like by Nvidia earnings, but neither by Nvidia's earnings.
No.
You know, that's just how it is, which puts you in the other direction. Here's the Nvidia could literally drop to $140 and that wouldn't scare me. Like, look at the weekly chart on Nvidia. Has it done that before? I mean, we just went 150 to 90. That happened. You know, was everybody panicking about that? Sure, but if you bought the dip, and ultimately I'm not going to pretend that I got any lows on that stock. I bought it in spring training, which was not even that good, because March would be like right in here. So like my buy was at like, I think around a 111, I think it was 42, 22, or 69, one of those three numbers. But that's the thing. At some point, you just got to pull the trigger on the way down if you want to add to it. And there's lots of room to add to it. The demand picture is still there, at least for now. But so I saw someone in the midday say this, that we're sick and tired of having to hear about how much money is left on the table for sales in China. We just want them to be able to make the money. Let's just start seeing those sales. That would make me a lot happier. Let's go to Adair.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on MNMD, MindMed. Marijuana Moment reporting that apparently there's a U.S. Senate committee that is going to be holding a hearing on the benefits of psychedelics for military veterans. So report here on a Senate committee potentially holding a hearing on how these psychedelics can benefit military veterans, as reported by Marijuana Moment, MNMD, making a nice little push to the upside on this report. Back to you.
That stock's actually...
Sell any pop in mind.
No, well, this is what I was going to get at. I can hear like a little bit of echo. What I was going to get at with MindMed is if you just buy it at 5 and sell it at 10, and then just don't try to make a don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. Buy it at 5, sell it at 10. Kind of like with Lucid, like you buy it at 2 and you sell it at 3 to 350. That kind of a deal. That's not bad. You've been able to do it a couple of times. I mean, I'd argue you really could have only pulled it off a couple of times, but still, someone's selling it at 10. I mean, it's more obvious that there's sellers at 10 than there's buyers at 5. It kind of happens to bounce down there. It's hard to even call that support but I can be convinced that there's resistance at $10. That's very, very obvious. And look, I know there's a lot of, if you're into technical analysis and that stuff, you'd be like, rounded bottom into a breakout. Don't know what would get the stock to do that, to actually break out the top. But it is one heck of a rounded bottom into a key level. That's because of its short float. There'd be squeeze potential above $11 here, at least into the 13. But I think that's what you're going for with MindMed. It doesn't really do a lot of volume. It's done half a million volume today. So like you couldn't even day trade that. I'd be surprised. That should be blocked for us with that kind of volume. I guess it's enough. It's a $10 stock.
Yeah.
If it was more expensive, it would be blocked for half a million volume at this time of day. No questions asked. But let's look at the overall market. I mean, SoFi, it's trying to get to VWAP. Oh, I see in the chat, Ryan Fay, Amazon's trying to go. Amazon needs to do something. You got to expect that some of the weakness in Amazon is because Walmart got punked and their guide wasn't what everyone wanted. And it was a poor guide by Walmart. That they came in at 250, they raised guidance 252 to 262, but the expectation was 262. So that means the midpoint was 57, and that's 5 cents underneath what the market was expecting. So Walmart to the downside. Amazon is really trying to hold the 50 period on the daily. It was a good buy after earnings at the 200 period, but if we can't hold that 50 period, we're right back there in a heartbeat. That said, we have held that 50 period at 221, and I think this is what you're getting at. This is breaking trend. Amazon is breaking trend right now as we speak. Amazon's breaking trend as we speak. So good luck. That was Ryan in the chat pointing that out. We're going to get our protein on.
Peanut butter, honey or something? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love these things. That is for sure. Thank you, Sharif.
Thanks, Sharif.
For that.
Now I've had 1/100th of the protein that Sharif has in a day. These are delicious, man. They're really good.
Okay, thanks.
You know,
go ahead, what was that?
no, I was going to finish chewing. One of the good things to put in these snacks, sweetening with maple syrup is delicious. My wife, when she did triathlons, she used to make energy, I don't know, they weren't like this, but like little energy balls.
Yeah. A guy at baseball makes
And she'd sweeten them with the maple syrup, and my goodness.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Now, I wasn't really going out on runs back then or anything, but I was eating them because I like food. Food is
Some kid at my baseball makes them with, he brings it for me all the time. They're more oat based than this, but applesauce for a sweetener. I don't know, there's lots of sugar in applesauce, I guess. All right. Yeah, so nice move up there. These things just take a while to
They're a little
get
chewy.
going.
They're not the best thing to eat while we're doing the show.
That's fine. Whatever. All right, so
They're good.
Just in the futures trade, really. I mean, we're still in this AMD short. This has been a good one, but we're not very much into this. It's still from the beginning. We covered down here, but now we're getting, I took like a quarter a bite of that thing, and it's still. All right, we're at the 200 period right now. We might as well go over to AMD, take a piece out right now, and then we'll just hold to see what winds up happening near the end of the day now. I'm not sure. We had some mixed opinions. I was only saying I'm just bullish about Jackson Hole because everybody else is bearish, so that's all. So I just don't really see what's going to happen there that changes the course of this market right now. I mean, the market's only. It's pretty flat. I mean, we are starting to head to the downside, right? But if you're going to look at the Nasdaq, I always look at the Nasdaq. We can look at the S&P 500. Primarily, every stock traded on this show is Nasdaq based. So that's the thing. All right. So obviously, we're on a little bit of a downtrend. We've seen that. This is not nothing out of the ordinary, right? I mean, we see down moves pretty much often in the market. It feels like we're in a crazy bull market because we are. But if you go from 583 as the top, even to lose 10%, like you're not bearish until 20%. So 580, you got to go down 100 points. That like you're all the way back down into here before we start to be like, oh man, now what? So I kind of feel like this is course of action. And then if there's nothing, and like I said, I don't know what's going to be said. I'm not sure what bullish or bearish actions are going to be had tomorrow, but is this not a buying opportunity? Like you come back in here, we're going to see some of these lows that we've seen since July, and then people are going to be like, wow, some people are stuck up here. There's people around here that bought at the top, and then it comes right back in, and then you're thinking to yourself, okay, now maybe it's time to average in. I could just see a nice little bump up from those levels. So tomorrow, I'm looking bullish here with Jackson Hole. I mean, it doesn't even, 10 a.m.? I'm not even sure when Powell speaks, but I don't think you know either, do you?
No.
No, okay, so nobody here knows.
I don't even know that.
Adair's going to look it up. You just look it up, but
I don't know that anything shocking will get
I know
said.
when he speaks. It's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, there we go. So,
And it's been
Well, I know
on
it, Derek.
our, it's a known factor that he speaks at 10 a.m.
yeah. Well, okay,
But
I knew it.
This is not the same thing as a Fed rate decision. This is not, like at the end of the day, there's not much that he can say that is going to be different. We haven't got any data which is a big shift from when we already heard the reaction. We already know the reaction from the recent PPI and the recent labor market, right? So nothing, and they didn't change any of their language after that. So what's going to be different now? He's going to have to comment on some stuff with this recent member that's getting pressure, and I guess that'll be talked about, and we're going to hear more about how they care about the labor market.
I actually don't think he'll talk about that at all.
I thought he's going to get asked about it. What he decides.
He's just going to say it's not in my jurisdiction.
Yeah, he might say that. Whatever.
And then that's it. So that's the end
what
of
I'm
that
saying. So I'm not sure it's going to be that big catalyst. Like I'm thinking more along the lines of the next big thing for the market is Nvidia than anything else. Like that's where if I'm worried about something for the market, it's Nvidia disappointing. And then we worry about September when September comes. We worry about mid-September when mid-September comes. But my concern would be if we're heading lower, it's what's going on with Nvidia, and do they show us any signs of disappointment? Because if that happens, I mean, come on, like Nvidia, you don't want Atlas to shrug. Basically, is the way you got to think about it when it comes to Nvidia, and then we'll worry about the Fed when it gets there. You're seeing the money markets start to at least bring that percentage down, which makes a little bit more sense because that reaction never made sense in the context of what's been going on sort of publicly and when all the Fed speakers have come through. It just, none of it sounded like 80% to me. So I'm not expecting it to sound like 100% tomorrow either. So anyways, in this almost said AMD. Amazon, which just broke trend. I'm trying to get back in on the trend line. Ooh, there it goes. See? Just happened. So the usual prior bar out. Not going to give it to VWAP. The market isn't moving all that much right now. I think we all can see that. So just to look for a trend break. There's the prior bar low. I don't like chasing them up here if I can get it. If I can get it on the way up, great. Otherwise, like wait for it to get it back down and then throw the stop in on AMZN. There was something else that I wanted to... Oh, well, it's because we were talking about Walmart with regards to Amazon, and I wanted to throw up the chart of Walmart. Walmart holding not just at the low of the day, because that matters, but what's actually mattering more down this 5% is holding under the 50-period moving average. So this is a stock that, until proven otherwise, I think it gets to that 200 period. You give it the old 3-day rule. Like if it holds, look, if tomorrow it holds again and is above 98, and then on Monday it's holding 98, then fine. The 50 period is held, and that's a place to dip by. Otherwise, I just make the assumption that the next stop is the 200 period moving average, and that's where you pick up stocks that you like. So I'll be a buyer of Walmart down there. But I could be open to the 50 period in this particular case, but I wouldn't do it on day one here. This isn't like Amazon, where Amazon was bouncing off the 200 period on day one. So buying it day 2 or 3 was a little bit easier to do because I thought you were getting a better spot. But yeah, Walmart did not like the guide whatsoever, and it still trades pretty pricey. You know, it's going to drag some things down with it. I think it dragged Costco down. And what's hilarious is I've never had a Costco membership. When I was in the States, I used to do all of the family when Dad lived in the States, and I would always do the shopping at Sam's.
Oh yeah.
I always liked it. It was pretty good. I mean, again, like I don't know how much different it is. I mean, I've been to Costco, obviously, but it's not that much of a difference, really, between the two. But it makes sense why Costco would be down and why Amazon is down on that Walmart hit. They did disappoint any way you cut it.
I mean, we were down 8% yesterday on Target. We're down again today on Target, I believe, down about 2%.
Oh, yeah?
Last time I looked. So, yeah, I mean, today retail is struggling, right? And so, you know, you want to talk about rate cuts and all things like that, you know, affecting credit cards. We'll see how strong the consumer is. Again, more jobless claims today than expected. So, you know, definitely not helping the market out. I mean, if we look at what happened when we're short right now, by the way, the market's coming back in. So we like the way that's looking. Yeah, the jobless market, at 8:30 when we had some of those jobless claims come through, kind of choppy then, and then we ripped up to the high side there. 10:30 was the high of the day or so right there for the Nasdaq, and then it was sort of flushed right back in there into this says 12:30, but it's really just 1:30 because it's Chicago time. And now we're sort of just basing out again near this level. We've already taken out that 23,300. We talked about that earlier, and it looks like that was a really good top. So those were the shorts. And as you can see, higher high there, and then a lower high, and we really haven't seen anything. It's actually broken. If anything, we may be getting a little bit bullish if we can't take these levels out right there of 23.2. So we're coming back in now. I'm sitting on the bid. I'm sitting on the bid a little bit lower here for the Nasdaq to see if we can get one of these fills, and then hoping for that breakdown. And like I said, if everybody's thinking that tomorrow is going to be a negative day, then maybe they start the selling right now. So I'm rating down here at 24, I believe, with a few shares. So hopefully we can just swipe us, get that 24. And then if we're lucky enough, that was down there at 12s or 13s. That's just a bid that we had sitting there underneath all of this support. So there it is. Can we get it? Did we get it? Yes, we did. So that was a good trade. And now we'll start to go a little bit lower now on the TQQs. So hopefully that does happen. And then we can get into somewhere here. Yeah, make sure you do hit the like and subscribe. Let me check what's going on over here with our page and see how many traders we have hitting the like and the subscribe right there. 259, very low. I'm sorry, I'm doing such a bad job. Make sure you do hit the like and, hit the like, and I unclicked it there. Hit the like right now, get that subscribe going. Yeah, and then you could, just demonstrating, and then you could be part of our chat. Neil has the the voting thing up there. You can hit whatever you want in here. We can start to talk about it. But here comes the market. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's see if we can get some more money in the cart here without too much of it flying out. There we go, 300. If we can get to like 600 or 700, I think that'd be pretty good. But there's a downside push. I don't have any more bids. The next bid is actually at 86, right into to this level there. For me, prices don't really matter on the TQs. It's not, this is an ETF, so it's just floating with whatever the Nasdaq does. So if the Nasdaq cranks, so will this. So you got to use charts here. I have obviously a lot of fills on this, but 86 bucks right there would be something for me. And then the ultimate low, and we talked about this earlier today when we were talking about 86.40 on our long, which was right into there, 87.40 where we got out. It turned out to be the top. That was a long that we had there. We got out of our last 10%, went long again, then started to go short. So I'm looking right into here if we're lucky enough to get that 85.80 as a potential spot where we may want to clear out of everything if it gets to the downside. So my next bid is there at $86. People saying Palantirs, and then we're going to
I'm going to restart this.
Okay, so show it up, and then we can get people voting.
Right now, because people are already putting symbols in. Just remember, I saw Palantir and I see BMNR in the chat, and neither one of them have a dollar sign in front of it. So if you want a symbol to get discussed or looked at, I have a specific question about it, I just restarted it. So anything you throw in there, Workday and Viking and Meta, and there's Palantir. So make sure dollar sign and then whatever the symbol you're interested in. Palantir is just going to jump right back up to the top, is my guess. Yeah, so you can already. Whoa, I've never seen one go off the screen like that. And then we can see what Palantir is doing on the day. Wow, Palantir, after all of that yesterday, is flat today. 0.028% on PLTR. And thank you guys. We'll double check. I keep it up the entire time. If you see me look up, I'm just scanning to see. Palantir is number one, but I'll respect that. But before I get there, got to show trend broke, got in, it broke the prior bar, and then I'm out. Try to keep a tight stop there. Neil's trying to move in a couple of shorts, but those aren't new. Although I am trying to reload every chance I get on SoFi, it just hasn't happened yet. But now we can go to Palantir because that is the number one on the list currently. This time it's not getting to 157 though. Like at least before, this has been getting to 157 bucks and then selling off. But still not too much movement on Palantir. I don't know what to tell you. It's considering the last 2 days, this is a very consolidative day for Palantir. And it's consolidating above theoretical support there at that 50 period. Wait a minute. No, check that. It's a 50 period on the daily. I don't have a 200 period. Oh, because it went to the Nasdaq, and this doesn't go that far back. That's why.
Yeah. All right. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, offering a 3 times bull, 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. If you want even more, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indice. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. And you can, if that was too quick for you, just please scan that QR code on your screen and learn more about triple levered ETFs. And of course, the biggest position here is going to be this triple levered ETF, and it is the TQQs. So we're going to watch out for the Nasdaq right now dancing around. Palantir looks actually like it wants to break long right now. Trying to just, take out the VWAP, take out the 200 period. We held both of those, so that's real good. And then right now, it's too bad that the market's really not doing anything. We took advantage of those down. Oh yeah, by the way, I got 11s also right there. We had another bid down there, so we took some 11s out on that move. The market's going to do that. We'll just sit there. I still think it goes lower, but we got to take some profits. I don't know if Palantir is going to be worth punching out, but if you are long on the name, you do have a lot of support, I think, right now. And if the market cranks lower, then that's what the market's going to do. But for right now, it looks like we're trying to hold out. I'm short the market because some of these stocks just don't seem to be doing a whole heck of a lot. Tesla's a very popular name to trade. And again, we are in and out of this one pretty quickly this morning, starting with some shorts and then short. Yeah, we didn't. Those are short in the pre-market. Yeah, that's right. I was like, that doesn't look right. And normally I wouldn't hold it like that. But then the short really came into right here. We were able to take out some profits on the short, and then eventually it ran the bid, right? Yeah, and then so all the way up there into 324. Takes out 324. And then boosh, right back down in. So, timing, as everything in life, is everything. And right now, Tesla, I don't know, not doing too much. The only stock that's really going right now is BLSH. This looks like a great chart, holding the 50-period moving average. You know, you'd want to go short once you break this trend. So for me, I always look at sort of the last time where it broke, so that's 68.40s or so. So this could be the short that you're looking for if you're going to punch something short on BLSH. Back-to-back days of some nice takes there, but with crypto going to the downside one more time, and like I said,
it's a weird time for that to go up.
Yeah, I don't really know. So that's why I was almost looking short there. Bitcoin down 1.73%. Ethereum also downside. I would probably say Tom Lee just selling into all the bids right now. He already got his move to the upside, so now we'll see how much pain the retail traders can withstand, and maybe it gets back down into 26, 28 bucks, and we're able to buy some more Ethereum down near those prices. But look, I still have some in a trust, and I didn't sell any of it, so maybe I should, as we just pulled back pretty nicely right here. And again, this is a decent pullback, right? Like, people worry about 5 or 6% sometimes. This is from 36.50 down to 32.20, so you're more than 10% off of highs from both Ethereum and Bitcoin at this point. So it's getting to be, you know, possible buy the dips. If you want to buy anything that's down more than 10%, those would be some good case
I just
scenarios.
feel like 10% on ETH is nothing in terms of drawbacks.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it's nothing as opposed to any of these Nasdaq.
Like 25, 40, like those are real drawbacks on those stocks.
40%, yeah.
Those are
and
real.
that's what I mean about how retail always
stocks.
loses.
You know what I mean. No,
I know. I mean, 40% drawdown on Ethereum would be crazy. There'd be so many people losing so much money because, again, you follow talking heads. And do your own research on all this stuff.
Oh, it's weird because I hear a lot about never sell at tops and buy at tops. I've never liked buying at tops. If I like something, then I'll buy it when everyone doesn't like it. You know, like when everyone didn't like an Amazon report, I'd rather try to buy that. If people don't like an Nvidia report and we get a good dip, then I'd rather buy that as well. The number 2 name on this board right now is actually Workday, passing Nvidia. And when I say this board, I'm not even showing it to you. Workday slid into number 2. They report tonight, 8% expected move. And what's crazy about them is if they hit expectations, they got a PE with a 2 in front of it. 26, a 4P is 26. If they beat expectations, that could be in the low 20s, believe it or not. For a stock, it's not really done much of anything. That's the kind of thing where if the valuation gets reasonable because of a good report and the guide ends up, well, more importantly, the guide has to end up good because, look, you got to be forward thinking here. So if they beat and then guide higher, this is a stock that's poised to break the 50-period moving average. And what's cool about it is it's been respecting the 50-period moving average. That's the first thing. Does it matter? Does the 50-period matter? Yes, it does. Is there a clear scenario under which something positive, something very particular happens fundamentally, and then it gives you a technical trade? Yes. Like if we beat and guide higher and we're breaking 235 or above 235, then I think the long makes sense on Workday. I don't gamble going into earnings. That 8% move, that's not, look, it's not a lot, relatively speaking, but it did 2 last time, so it's expecting to be a little bit more volatile this time through, and it made a nice bottom as well. So Workday, I think, has a decent chance. We'll see how the report goes. That's one of a few. I think we have Zoom as well. Zoom, Workday, and I believe there's one other, but this one, very, very interesting, at least the level.
Zoom, Intuit, Ross Stores, and Workday. Workday, Ross Stores, Intuit, all at 4 p.m., Zoom at 4:05.
We don't even have to wait. You don't have to do anything. We're just going to throw it right over, and Sean and Adair are going to crush it on the show. I hope they all go up, but specifically Workday because that 50 period's been respected. That's at least, I haven't looked at Zoom in quite some time. We don't even, when was the last time I used Zoom? I can't even think about it.
Yeah, same.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Just
I
never?
don't use,
it's not never, but, oh no, I do remember. We used it. I know we use it on the show, Andre, but when we did the Jimmy Carter show was the last time I used Zoom. Because did we use Zoom for that? Or we use something else? We didn't even use Zoom for that? Okay, forget about it. Then I can't remember the last time I used it personally.
I found...
That's nuts.
We did use it when we were at home the day after, or on Black Friday, I guess, that November stream. That is we actually did use Zoom that day. If you were present for that, then you used Zoom. But Jimmy Carter Day, we were in studio.
Yeah, we were right here.
I don't think I was here for that.
Yeah, we were definitely here for that day. Okay, so interesting thing here on Bespoke here. If you're having a good week, you're having a terrible summer, and this is Trump. Oh, critical minerals. They're reallocating chip money for critical minerals right now. I'll show that in a second. We have to get over to see exactly what's happening right here. What's MP doing? If that is going to be the case, probably Rip City right now on MP, I'd guess. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Up to $68. So we'll hear more about exactly what that means. Reallocating money from the chip bill, which should be affecting Intel, I guess.
Intel and Micron.
Downside maybe for Intel. We'll see if there's any sort of news here going on, and Dara will get that story, then you'll hear that fancy trumpet, and then she'll come on and yada. Okay, if you're having a good week, it's because you're having a bad summer. So this is what it is right here. Dayforce, First Solar, Enphase. Yep, we'll go over there in a second. Right here, you could see just this week alone, obviously Dayforce with the buyout, so they're going to be up pretty huge. If you see, this is quarter to date, right? So through August the 14th. Centene, like look at all of this healthcare networks, right? They're all to the downside. We'll talk about this in a minute because some critical metals stocks moving around here as well. Okay, what was that, Adara?
That news I'm actually not seeing, but I am seeing another piece of news I want to mention. Apparently, the U.S. military is seeking to stockpile cobalt for the first time in decades. With that in mind, I'm seeing some tickers to watch: ELBM, VALE, and ABAT. This is VALE or Vale, Speculative ABAT, American Battery. As you can see, this one getting moved to the upside. So again, keep an eye on some of these cobalt stocks potentially. Apparently, the U.S. military planning on stockpiling cobalt for the first time in decades. I am not seeing, though, this other story, and if I see anything on that, I'll let you know. Okay, now I'm seeing this. Apparently, Reuters is reporting that the Trump administration is considering plans to reallocate $2 billion in the CHIPS Act funding for critical minerals. So reallocating $2 billion worth for critical minerals. Keep an eye on MP and USAR.
Yeah, MP is the one that got, it looks like it got the biggest volume spike there. But for anyone, when we were saying maybe look at like Intel and Micron, the CHIPS Act was like 200 and... Yeah. Almost it was probably close to $300 billion. So reallocating $2 billion of the CHIPS Act money, it doesn't, like, it might matter to MP and you get a little spike, but that's not going to hurt. That's not going to hurt Intel or Micron. So I don't think there's going to be anything there. But MP's moving, it's moving on that. The volume's not really sustaining right now. Like the big volume spike, and then you wait a heartbeat, and it's holding the bid. It's just not seeing, I'm not really seeing any tape levitation or any crazy excitement like you'd think you'd see out of a short float like MP does have here. So really nothing too crazy on MP. This one has been pulling back. It just cannot get to the 50 period. This one might be allergic to the 50 period moving average. I feel like I want to stink bid this for like 10% at like 60 or something on MP, because I missed it the last time. It was close to the 50 period moving average. It famously got a deal literally the day after when it didn't come close. So I feel like this one dips anymore. It's one that I do want to pick up at some point to take a shot at it. So I see people, Palantir is still, wow.
Yeah, the market's trying to go.
I mean, Palantir is like still like double on the list. Every time I look up to see what the top ticker is, it's just continuously Palantir. It's not as if anyone is typing anything but Palantir. And the funny thing is not everyone's even typing $sign in front. So.
Oh, they're not? Okay. Yeah, make sure you guys do it right.
Make sure you do do the $sign in front.
Yeah, you got it.
Although now everyone's just doing $sign Palantir. So
yeah, good.
It's now further ahead.
Get that Palantir train going, guys. So we'll wait for that one. Look, we said yesterday never short a dull market or a sleepy market, and I guess tomorrow nobody is worried about this whole of Jackson, because right now it's not really doing too much. The futures, they're kind of just hanging out right here, waiting on news, and we just might got a little bit of a story there about the chip. Okay, well, maybe we've come back a little bit now. I don't know. We're short at 55s. Remember, our stop is VWAP, so we're getting pretty close to that. So let's see if it does drip down a little bit now. We'll take a little bit off there. Hopefully we can continue to have a move in. And this is what... Yeah, we already talked about that MP materials. I mean, we can have a quick little look on that one. Wow, now $67. Wow, we brought this. I mean, soon as I heard that news, man, I just should have punched long. That would have been a great trade there. But yeah, stocks having good weeks have been having bad summers. And that's sort of what we're talking about right now. Regeneron is the only one that's up right there, actually Nextera as well. But you could see here, Salesforce is a big name that many people would own. That's down 14% this quarter, up 5% this week. So it just shows you, like, sometimes you could be down for many, many months, and then a good story, a buyout in your space helps. Palo Alto as well, obviously down 15%. And then gets the earnings and gets the call, it goes back higher. So that's been a good save there as well.
It's down that much.
Yeah, Centene, yeah, exactly.
What?
All these names, United Health, Centene. I don't know about Molina, I've never heard of that one.
I don't know that.
But yeah, they're all
Benjamin.
Elevance, ELV there, down 24, now just down 5, now up 5. So don't it's been a good week, that's for sure, for some of those names. But a lot of them haven't flipped back to positive yet. First Solar's, we always say buy best of breed. I mean, you've been hearing me say that. It's not my line, but we've been saying that for a minute. That's from Bespoke. So they're a great follow also on Twitter. What's up, Adara?
Oh, go ahead.
Keep an eye here on META. We have kind of a wild twist here in this story about their AI spending. We know that Wall Street Journal initially reported that the company was pausing its spending for AI. Then a Meta spokesperson said to CNBC that apparently this pause is just some organizational planning with regards to their superintelligence efforts. Now, a couple minutes ago here on X, Alexander Wang, who of course is Meta's chief AI officer and the former CEO of Scale AI, he's saying, and I quote, "We are truly only investing more and more into Meta Superintelligence Labs as a company. Any reporting to the contrary of that is clearly mistaken." So Meta Chief Intelligence Officer Alexander Wang denying any reports that they're spending less on superintelligence. So we're going to have to wait and see how this shakes out, guys. Back to you.
Super intelligent.
Thank you very much there, Adara. And, well, as the market comes back to the upside, so I was just curious. I was looking at that CNC chart because, every now and then you watch the market a lot, or you look at stocks a lot, and I realized that, a little bit. But I had no clue that this, whatever. It's not a stock that I pay attention to, but kind of missed that drop. Doesn't really matter. SoFi just came right back in, tested that local high again. It's been holding 22.25 for some time. Let's see if he can do it one more time. So I just reloaded it. Neil's not doing anything, but Palantir is now pressing. Okay, Palantir might break this out. All right, it's been a minute, but Palantir is trying to go here. And if it breaks, this is 157. Call it 60. It's above 50, but it'll be 60. I'm going to take a shot at this one. As Palantir, it spent the entire day doing look, it's moved around. To say that it hasn't done anything it's a little disingenuous because some of these candles are rather decent. $3 is not nothing. But compared to yesterday, it hasn't done anything. So if it breaks out this local high in the morning, I'm looking to jump into the long. At 58, I might add, but I'd rather be long going into it because it's power hour instead of waiting for it to go another 50 cents. I just feel like that's a better way to go. That way, if I have either I do 58 with a wide stop or I can have a tighter stop here, and then even if that loses, I have another shot at the 58 level if it goes up. So very, very strong name relatively this afternoon, and Palantir finally trying to break the morning range. Or I guess it's not the morning range, all day's range.
Yeah.
Forget about the morning.
So here it is right here. I just asked Perplexity that question that we had, and it actually right here, according to JP Morgan, since 1988, the average S&P return for money invested at all-time highs has actually been slightly better than investing on a random day. So dollar cost averaging. If you always bought the S&P, and I don't know, stock specific, I would assume it works as well. I just asked about the S&P. You can probably figure that out. But yeah, it's beaten quite significantly too. That's 4 basis points there. That's 6 basis points there. 6 basis points there on a 5-year average return. So yeah, and it talks about, there's benefits of dollar cost averaging, of course. Yeah. That's what it is, man. People always feel like they're going to miss out on all that. But the 1-year forward return from buying at all-time highs is 13% compared to an amazing 12% randomly. So that's why. If you extrapolate it over, if you're always doing it, maybe it works. But I sort of knew that I'd read an article about that. So that's why I was trying to just to see what's going on with that kind of a move. But, what else I wanted to do was what stocks are in the XME ETF. So right here, just because we're talking about metals and everything like that, you're going to want to get into the metals and mining ETF. right here. I was just trying to look at the percentages of what's been held in this ETF, but there goes XME. Nice move up. Thank you to everybody in the chat, especially my guy that was saying XMR right here. Oh, Rivian Millionaire. What's up, Rivian Millionaire? Ben on that one. So yeah, thanks for bringing this to our attention. And yeah, these are the holdings right here. So there it is, nice upside move. Again, as we look, I mean, that Cobalt story is kind of interesting. I don't really know why or whatever the story is with that one, but you could see, talk about a bull run on this as well, very much like the market. XME right now, huge move. From those April lows of 50 up to 80, you don't get too much moves like that, too many moves like that in an ETF. So congratulations if you're able to pick out this one. And this is what's held in it. Cleveland Cliffs, of course, Steel Dynamics, United States Steel buyouts. We'll have to adjust that. Alcoa, Nucor. Basically everything that I think of when I think about metals. There's FCX, something that we always talk about as well on the show, Newmont Mining for some gold. But again, you guys can figure out your own stocks and what you want to put into your portfolio, or you can pay somebody probably 1 or 2 basis points or whatever the management fee is on this. Maybe it even says in here, is this BlackRock? No, Spiders. So I don't know what their fee would be, but at the end of the day, this is what's listed in there, and weights are shifting based on index adjustments. So yeah, take it for what it's worth there, but this is the XME on some of that news now going higher.
0.35.
0.35. Okay, so really cheap there on the management fee.
I mean, yeah, because it's SPY, right? Like
yeah, so get your money in there. Probably one of the largest held ETFs in the mining sector for sure. Data center love for Oracle. Oracle's really changed up, and now just huge revenues for Oracle over the last couple quarters. You know, this is a name that we probably don't talk about enough. It's had an absolute monster move as well, from $105. We can always look at the bottom, it doesn't matter. I was talking when we talk about some other names that have really blasted off here. So has Oracle, and you're getting this at the 50 period as well. So again, building all these data centers, server side, Oracle's huge in all of this. I really think that they're going to be a great opportunity for the long run, especially if the AI boom is I don't think it's just getting going, but it's definitely just getting going. Obviously, when you see moves like this, there's been some money made already on this, but I still think there's more. Oracle probably works from here at the 50 period moving average. So those of you that maybe aren't in specific names, or you're too overvested in the chips themselves, you know, get some of the nuts and bolts here and grab some Oracle. I think it's worth it on many fronts. So Oracle, a good name to still participate in this boon, but not the same way as Nvidia or AMD, because if you miss, and again, a lot of traders, they get late onto trades, right? I mean, AMD right now has had a huge run, but like depending on where you've bought it, that's 185 down to 163. So you're still down 10% from the highs there as well. So it's just funny, like 10% used to be a huge move. Now it's just like, oh, you're down 10%. Okay, what is it, Friday or Tuesday? So yeah, you know, watch out for some of these plays. Make sure they're, you know, the space is right. It's a macro play that you're interested in. So AMD still a couple dollars away from being at that 50 period moving average. If you think some of the moves are now done, you may want to get involved in some of these plays now because they're getting close to buy zones. And Oracle, I believe, is at one right now. So watch out for Oracle.
I like that company more than I like AMD. I don't know. AMD just feels a little frothy to me. Nvidia over AMD 10 times out of 10. But you know what? We can all agree on, hopefully, that empowered women can change the world. And you can help make it happen. The Woman Boss trains the mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, they've reached over 10,000 women and girls, and your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. Scan the QR code on the screen now and join in building a brighter future. Great cause. Hard to argue with that one in there, to be sure. And I'll go back to AMD in a quick little second. Palantir did break that. It's kind of a random price, but just the high of the day, but not really the high of the day. It's like the high of the open market. It's got to be a word for that. High of the open range, whatever. I had one out in front of 75 and then one in front of 90. I think it tagged 89 and did not fill, because 158 is still a thing. Let's go all the way back here. We talk about close prices mattering. This 158, I think, is going to be some resistance here on Palantir. So I want to get one more out in front of 58, see if it can break that level. It's past 3 o'clock, which I think we saw this late in the day. I mean, whatever, everything was running yesterday, but late in the day, this rallied. There was one dip after like after 3, but it was more or less trend up on Palantir, and it feels like it's doing a similar thing here today. Just the last thought on AMD. Like AMD, this is one of those, if Nvidia did this, I'd be buying it. But AMD's doing it, and I don't know how much of a believer I've had some AMD shares from a really, really long time ago, and I'm kind of thinking the other thing. It's probably going to be silly, but I don't even know if I care to own this company and own Nvidia anymore. So in the cleaning up of how much crap that you own, I'm just going to say to myself, if this loses the 50 period, then I'm just not going to be in the stock anymore. And it's as simple as that. And if I want some exposure to it, then I'll just start moving into an ETF or something like that. But I like Nvidia more, so why am I going to be in? I don't need to be in both. Let's just leave it at that. The other one, there was something else I wanted to get to, but shoot, it was not Workday, because we already talked about Workday. Oh, that's what it was. I wanted to get back to that MP. Because one of the things that we don't necessarily mention with regard to MP is, like, everyone's like, oh, well, rare earths, big negotiating tactic. The U.S. obviously wants to secure a strong position with them, and they're the really only option out there in the U.S. 14% short float on this name. There's also a squeeze name. And remember, when you get short data, that it's delayed. So this has the potential that MP, I don't know this for a fact, but usually a month or two you can be delayed on these numbers. There's a decent chance that's actually bigger. And we find out that the short flow could be inching toward 20% and getting squoze even more. So you like this for buying some dips. I know I said I've liked the 50-period moving average, but I'm also eyeballing. Part of the reason to wait is this. Like, since the big volume spike here, you've got this very, very clear trend line which is set up. I think if it loses that, you wait for the 50 period. If it bounces here, this could be a nice little long continuation. As long as it holds this level, I like that little trend there on MP. That's what I wanted to get to. But Palantir, let's see if you can do what you did yesterday, or like a small portion of what you did yesterday. Yesterday was ridiculous.
Yeah, Palantir, 2 days. Nice 2-day run there.
Yeah, 2 days. It's insane. Like 2 days ago, the stock does $14 total, and then yesterday it does like $12 or $13 total. Today, completely sideways. Sometimes that's just how it is. You get a consolidation day, but you know what? It's better to consolidate at the highs than it is to consolidate at the lows. 10 times out of 10, unless you're a short.
Still can't believe it's August 21st right now. I was just going through it. Like, Neil was just talking about AMD versus Palantir, versus Nvidia.
Yeah.
Like, AMD's PE is 90. Okay, Nvidia's is 56.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, yeah, no matter which way you look at it, valuation-wise, AMD is more frothy at these levels than anything else. Than those two names, anyways. Yeah, bull market, dull market, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to you there in the chat. Again, talking about this market that we have here today. Let me just quickly go over a few different names. Obviously, we have our graphic that we have up here as well, but this is TradingView. So they have a stock screener, like a map, sort of a heat map, so to speak here. And this is what the market looks like today. We've been used to the last couple of days, just has been littered with bright red. And today it's not. Today it's actually pretty mixed. Broadcom downside there. Broadcom's AVGO there, PE 106. So yeah, Amazon's PE, because they're down today as well, more reasonable, 34. So they're down. But again, we know that the retail trade continues to suffer due to this guy, not TJX, sorry, due to Target from yesterday and Walmart from today. Buy the best of breed down here. Costco, if you get a chance to do that, I think that that's smart. You can even start buying some of that today. Average into it. My family loves some Ulta Beauty, and they're up today. So again, they're leaving Costco apparently, so that will be sad, but they are leaving Costco, so we'll have to wait to see what happens with them coming through. Eli Lilly today up 0.85, so we go Yahoo. for that one. At least that stock is trying to work out for me. So we're pretty happy with some Eli Lilly in my account. So we'll be watching out for that one moving forward. We just got to get some orders out because we're getting close. The TQs, we're going to stop out if it gets too much going, too much more than this. Other than that, man, consumer services. We talked a little bit about Disney today doing something with ESPN, right? So they're down 0.78.
Nothing. It'll happen.
Comcast, yeah, they had the Paramount deal go through. So, you know, this sector just needs to slow down just a little bit. There's Charter Communications up there as well. Not too many movements happening. Airbnb, Starbucks downside. Luckin Coffee could be a trade at some point there. We talked about that with Sharif and Jeff Mendel the other day. The cheapest of the cheap is Google. Google, if you're talking about PEs right now, in the 20s
That's
right now for Google. So this would be the one that if you're looking for some kind of value,
Buy all the dips.
yeah, it would be Google is the one that many traders are indicating as a potential dip buy opportunity. And as Neil just mentioned on that one, you may want to buy some dips in Google. So looking at that stock, this, again, real healthy, real nice like, but dip buy opportunities exist here for Google. So I would say make your bed in this name and probably lay in it and be happy about it. Like 185, you get dipped down into there and you get a PE under 20, that's go. Like I love the Gemini, I love all of that.
But like, how many stocks have hit the highs while being the most reasonable PE in their space?
Right, exactly. So
In this market,
good question.
I mean, like, I'm not asking ChatGPT. That's a rhetorical question. I'm
Right, of
assuming it's
course.
0. I'm literally assuming the answer to that question is 0. 1.
Repeat the question again. How many?
How many stocks have been? Okay, it's a bit of a. It's not precise to say have the best PE in its group, because I think it can be ambiguous as to what group.
Right, and what's best mean? Oh, you mean cheapest?
The cheapest PE,
Okay, yeah.
while it's testing its highs. And then
Right.
testing the highs is a bit subjective. But that set of circumstances, I can't think of a single stock that's doing it, with the exception of Alphabet, which is incredibly
Probably,
impressive.
I have one that I'm pretty sure would have been
Okay,
probably Tesla. Because when,
but it hasn't got to the highs.
no, but when it was at its highs. Oh, right now I don't think anything.
okay.
I just think that as stocks were running, like in Amazon, some of these PEs are crazy. And you have to consider that Amazon, like Google's not, okay, like it's not really a growth stock in the way that some of these other names are. Like you don't, that's why they don't have that 100.
Its core
why they don't-
business is the thing everyone's worried about. I just think that we're not giving them enough credit for YouTube, and we're not giving them enough credit for automated driving, and we're not giving them enough credit to be able to figure it out when it comes to AI. And I don't know. I just really, it's.
I mean, I really like Google.
I think they're going to figure it out. So I'm not as worried about it. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I'm at the point now. I think I'm just going to suck it up and pay for YouTube Premium. And I think they're smart enough to keep sending ads.
Yeah,
Like they're like just I'm just a little frustrated by the ads that my daughter sees on the things that she watches. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's just some mature ads that end up showing up on things that are clearly for kids. And I know that's going to sucker me into buying YouTube Premium, which I'm sure is good. But then I'm going to cancel Spotify. So I'll just, because I'll have YouTube Premium, I'm assuming I get some kind of discount on YouTube Music. Right? I have to. I would assume.
I think it includes YouTube.
It's probably, or it includes it.
Yeah,
See how much
it
I know,
does.
so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
and then
it
I'll
does.
cancel Spotify. And then you've got me. And that's how they get you, because I can't live without. Well, my daughter can't live without YouTube. We can't live without YouTube. And the world can't live without YouTube. And you're not living without Alphabet. And that whole nonsense about them selling Chrome, not going to happen. You know, like, to me, that never made any sense in the world. It would have to have been completely forced on them. Otherwise, you know, some deals can get done about how they do business, and some technicalities will happen out there. But they're keeping Chrome if they can. There's no reason they would want to sell it.
I might just, I have YouTube. I mean, my kids watch it all the time, and on our main TV. I might just cancel. I might do the same thing. What, if you have YouTube Premium, you do not get any ads whatsoever? Is that how that works? Because that's definitely an interesting point there, I think, for many of us. I don't listen to music, like the podcast, everything I listen to, I have...
You have Apple.
I have Apple Music, so Apple Podcasts and all. I mean, it's the same. Podcasting platform is what it is now. Like most people, Rogan's on both, on YouTube. Like they publish some area and get posted up on others, right?
What's up with that?
Yeah, so I think they've lost the way as far as that is concerned. And yeah, you can now safely invest in YouTube Premium, I would think.
Oh, we get a super chat.
Ooh, NBC Universal and MLB Baseball. No ads and free music. But what does the free music look like? Is there an app for YouTube music?
I don't even.
There must be.
There is a YouTube Music app.
Yeah,
I have the app. I just don't have the. I don't pay for it or anything like that. So I probably should do it. But we got a super chat in here. I didn't catch that story on MLB. I don't know if you did. Swing trade tips on timing exits on blue sky setups. I'm notorious at being too early, and Marvell hold or fold for the long term. Thanks in advance. You like Marvell. Marvell actually has a pretty good PE on its own.
Yeah, I have a price target at Marvell of $100.
But blue sky setups, the whole idea is that there's no levels to work off of. I've heard Michael say some stuff when it comes to that, but I tend to see it this way. If I'm long something and it's breaking out the all-time high, then I'm just usually, unless an event is happening, I'm just holding it for the ride and using some kind of a trend break.
Right.
I'll find a trend line. I don't use Fibonacci's or anything like that, and I can't remember a time that I held something as a swing that was breaking an all-time high, and I had a predetermined target over the all-time high. I don't think I've ever done that. I'd almost always be getting out on some kind of a pullback, and I like trend lines, so that's usually what I go with. Or I might do something like, okay, well, I'll at least hold that all-time high breakout into the next significant event, like maybe earnings or something like that, and then I'll set a trail before the earnings. Yeah, like if you're fortunate enough to have got something going into the high, you've got yourself a price, and you have a stop when you got in, let it ride. I mean, at that point, if I've taken no profit out, maybe I take some profit to make sure that I don't lose on it if it comes all the way back in. Let's choose an example. Like, let's just talk through an all-time high break on Palantir, just for what I'm getting at. Let's imagine that you were buying dips anywhere in Palantir into an all-time high break. So either long here or long here.
Futures.
So if I'm long here, my stop is under there on Palantir, and it breaks out the high, the only adjustment I might make is once it sustains a move, I might move my stop a little bit tighter, and then I would have a trend break. And somewhere around here, it breaks the trend, and then that could get me out of the trade. And that's the way I would look at it. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to offer in front of 200, or I'm just going to offer in front of 190, because I don't know. Like, maybe it respects 190, maybe it doesn't. I'd rather try to hold for the trend if I can. And I'll move a stop up because it gives me a reason to break even or something along those lines because it goes. But I'm always going to get out on a trend if it's a blue sky setup. Let it ride. I just feel like overall that's a better way to go. And speaking of letting it ride, Palantir went 2 steps and not a third. Could not break 150. Of course it can't break 158. Thank you for not breaking 158. That's Palantir. It went to 157.99. And could not hold. So Palantir ends up coming out. Well, it's better than shorting it this morning, that's for sure. Didn't make much back because it didn't break that 158. So Palantir runs into resistance again at $158, just like it did here in the.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me?
It went, it's 150.
Did I get filled?
Is your offer at 58 or under 58?
Literally at 158.
Oh, dude, it went to 99.
I did not. Did it? That's hilarious. No, I did not.
No, it's literally 99.
Yeah, no, I did not. Well, obviously, I did not get filled there. Oh, whatever.
I mean, there's still 20 minutes
yeah,
left.
the fact that it's there is honestly.
I mean, it's the same thing.
It's good enough for me, man. Good job for Palantir. My own account, I'm sitting at what?
I never use even dollars.
No, I just thought it was going to get it and stream through it. I don't even care that much about it. I might even just pull it then, just out of spite, and get it out at 168 instead. All right, so Coinbase actually a really reasonable PE right now of 29, to be honest with you. That's probably pretty good for Coinbase. It's gotten crushed over the last little while. So if you guys are looking for some kind of a growth stock that does have a good PE, market PE right now 22, 23 on the S&P 500. So obviously Coinbase, when you're talking about individual stocks, they're going to have catalysts themselves. And, so that's going to have to be watched out there. And I'm not necessarily bullish on crypto at these levels. I said if we can't hold this 112, 113 area, then the next levels down is at 108, and that will send Coinbase lower as well. So you can try to play both against each other. I would rather pick up, like I said, XRP or Bitcoin, and then I already own a lot of Cardano, so we're going to hold off on that one there. What's up to Love to Trade? Heard me mumbling, yeah, because I was like, come on, man, you just got a break. And so I'm on this futures trade. We're short at 64s. If this breaks these highs, we're out 90. We say this in the afternoon. It's never a good sign to just be leaning on the short or the long and trying to fight a trend. And right now, we're above VWAP. We're above the 50. You can see this is sloping up. So, we could have got out of it here Well, actually, the whole trade was VWAP, and so it's just like it's come back in, it's hit that a couple times. We haven't stopped out yet because it hasn't. We're just using this high as a stop because I'm not using up here as stop. So we'll just use in this area right into here. So we're bouncing our head against some of this. I feel like we will get stopped out, which is why I was like, come on, give it a shot down there to see if we want it. And that was just a couple minutes ago. It does not go through. So we didn't get back to flat, but we got close enough to it. It bounced off 70s again. So here we go, just drifting higher right now on the TQQs. Womp womp. Just keeps on getting just that little bit higher. I don't know. I want to change my stop just a little bit because I'd hate for it to run. Let's just go to 86, like 96 or so. The high is 90s, so we'll give it 6 more cents and whatever. It won't really matter at the end of the day. But hopefully it does not run that level, and we'll get out of. I don't want to get out of all of it, but we're getting near the end of the day. It doesn't seem like traders are scared of Jackson Hole tomorrow. We'll see what happens at 10 o'clock, as we mentioned before. Right now, only down 0.3 in the Nasdaq and battling back quite nicely as we've seen today already in the market. It started off very, very choppy, made new highs on the day. We didn't take out yesterday's levels or the pre-market highs as well. And then we just kept on getting lower. I thought this trend would sort of be respected here into the close, but right now it looks like we are trying to break high. We keep on holding VWAP, so I definitely, worried about this position, and you just saw me put the stop in, so we'll wait for that to come through at some point here this afternoon. But yeah, as we've been talking a lot about PEs, we've been talking about some stocks that have been running this week. UNH is another one of those names that has been running, although ran into a little bit of a wall up around, 312 or so? What was that level there? 313, 312. You're never, well, not that you're never, eventually it's going to break 323. But when you come up like this, and then you get sort of this island candle up there, that, forcing this downside. So now you want to leave this alone. I don't think you really want to dip buy until you get at least back maybe into this 275 area, and then watch to see if it climbs higher, because a lot of this movement to the high side on UNH, Berkshire disclosed a stake, so did Michael Burry, Zion Capital, a few other places disclosed stakes in UNH on the recent 13
What's worth saying
filings. Here comes the futures again, yeah?
Is it might have, obviously it bounced before those announcements came in, but remember, everybody was saying that it was Berkshire for the days leading into it.
Yep.
So all that green on UNH, that was like the speculation that it was Berkshire. Then we got the confirmation, and it hasn't done much. But remember, sometimes Berkshire buys in tranches. They'll buy a little one quarter, they'll buy a little the next quarter. So when you start to see that thing level off again, like it was doing over the 300 level, then maybe they're buying again, and that could be a good place to enter. We're going to get the early look in a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Here, Palantir, the market's got to be coming back. Palantir's back.
Not really.
157 now, as I looked. Nothing standing out on the early look for the imbalances. Enbridge and SU, those are dual listed and don't necessarily matter. CMBT is a small capper that I'm not familiar with, but that is a rather large chunk of its daily volume in there, and nothing really standing out. NEO is an early look buy. It's literally not moving. I could just punch out of it. It's going sideways. That stock's not going anywhere. Yeah, so we'll see what happens when the NASDAQ names come out here for sure. What's interesting, that CMBT, when I see 3 million on the day and it's done 7 million on the day, and it's a buy imbalance, and the stock is literally at the low and there's volume spikes on it, it leads me to think something is happening here. So I'm going to double check the notes to see if this maybe has some kind of an index action on it.
Come on, market.
It's not usual that you would see that kind of volume on a random name with a random imbalance out of nowhere, and something isn't supposed to be happening. So I think it's a good thing that I got out of Palantir, as that just did not. Yeah, it just didn't want to hold. It's still kind of sliding back into the downside on PLTR. So no late breakout in Palantir, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean it can't happen tomorrow. The sideways down Palantir continues.
All right, I've just, I take some out here at 72s right now on the TQs. I do have a bigger order at 68 just to get some out right here. Hopefully we can fall back in, fill us, and then go for the tank. I mean, we're finally, oops, still on UNH, my bad, right here for the futures. So we just got our 68 fill. So we're finally breaking through VWAP right now. We're short right here. We were short at 66 this whole time. Now it's saying 69 because I got out. So we took an L on some of those outs, but we just started this trade right here, 61s. We got some 70s and we got some 84s right there, and now we're starting to think about hopefully coming back in just a little bit, and that's 61 or 62. So let's put a bid somewhere here, see if we can get something out again. And we're just kind of licking the wounds a little bit on this short. I would love for it to go down here, and we could still tank. I mean, there's nothing really in the way of this. We don't have major earnings after hours. You can go check. Adara has it up on tradertv.live or Trader TV research page. I just posted it up right here as well. You can go find it out there. Intuit, Workday, Raw Stores, and ZM, which is
Ooh,
media,
speaking of that,
isn't it? There goes Zoom Communications. Sorry, yeah. So that is the one we're talking about. 4444405. Right now, moves 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we'll, yeah, all the same, roughly coming through there today. Oh, thanks for the followers right there. How many more do I need? 29 more followers to get to 53.7. But yeah, hit us up there. Let's see if these futures want to get into these lows, and they're not going to get to the lows. But if we can get like, remember I told you the target was like 80, was it 85.80 or something like that? Here's 86.20, something into there would be, I mean, I think we're talking about the major futures, but right in, or the E-minis, but right into here, 86.24, like that's pretty cool. The 200 period would be great on this trade, and then we'd be dancing. But here it is, nice little pullback in now, so we're happy to get this level. I'm gonna put, did I just get some bids at 60s? No, I did not. Let me put another one there at 61. Hopefully we fall down, and then we have a much bigger order at 55s. But I'm gonna go set up the desk over there and just come back. So my stop orders are in. Hopefully we get filled on the downside right now with these TQs. I just put a 61 bid in there. Maybe it goes, maybe it doesn't, but that's what we're doing right now. Short the futures, the big play on the desk here.
And speaking of those names that are reporting, Bob with a super chat for us. Thank you very much, Bob. Thoughts on Zoom going into earnings? We were just talking a lot about PE. If these guys beat expectations, they could, it's probably not going to be a single-digit PE, but if they meet expectations, it's low single digits. I can't think of too many stocks that are currently trading at low single digits that are relatively decent size that people feel good about. Usually those are the types of names that are really beaten up and they're like value traps and all that. Zoom doesn't necessarily fit that profile. But if they beat, the idea that you could be low single digit PE and potentially breaking a downward trend, this should be on the radar for us. I'm not, in terms of the actual growth here, seeing this company in 10 years, 15, 20 years, and being able to hold growth, I don't know how much I'm a believer in that. However, if you're just looking for, a trend reverse breakout trade with some possible fundamentals behind it in terms of value, like if things are getting punished because of their valuation, then if these guys beat, it's hard to punish them on their valuation. That's a positive as far as I'm concerned. And then it gives you a little bit of cover if you're swinging into this during Jackson Hole and going into the Fed, because at least you've got some kind of a decent valuation here with Zoom. I had no idea it was that cheap on a PE base. I'm not a huge fan of necessarily the longer term investment. I don't really see where the growth is going to come from, unfortunately, but that's sort of the idea. And the thing I love about this is I'm usually really simple. I don't do a lot of swing trading, but if I like something, like you got the 50, you got the trend line break. If I'm using a daily chart, you have to actually close breaking it out. So it's not enough that it wicks it. If it breaks out on earnings and then comes right back down, who cares? It's got to close and hold after earnings a day or two. Then you go into the long. And if it's just here, I wouldn't use the 50 period. I think you use somewhere around the 70 level is your stop, and then see how far it can go. You have room to get up to the low 80s. That's a kind of like post-earnings swing if you happen to like that kind of a thing. And that kind of thing can work if you look at, say, like let's use Amazon as an example. Like Amazon, right? Like Amazon dips into the 200 period moving average. You think it's a good report. It holds on a couple of days. Closes the third day with a double bottom right in here at 214. It doesn't really break trend heavily. Like it gets to the 50 period moving average and then gets up close enough to the highs. Snag yourself close to 10% or so. Like that's the kind of move you're looking for. Except with Zoom, you've got the cover of what I think a pretty decent PE. Like you said, it's relatively cheap. It's really not that bad at all. But that being said, I don't really necessarily love the company. I think you're just looking at a trade. There's always a difference between, to me, dip buying something I want to hold for a long time and then taking a shot play at something for some kind of a little short-term trend. Maybe you only want to hold it for a quarter. few weeks just to see how far it's going to go. And, oh, that's a good one, Rivian Millionaire. We looked at MP on that news story from Madeira, but we didn't pull up USAR, right? Rising tide lifts all ships. I think Mitch will be happy. I'm pretty sure Mitch likes this one over MP, or maybe like, I don't really know, but this is one that got mentioned. Hey, if rare earth metals are going to go, USAR is certainly a mining play that's going to play out for you. And you can see the volume spike. Did it do better than MP in this move? It's always possible. Not really. I think you got the same out of both of those, but sometimes just knowing where you might be able to express a trade is going to be enough. So USAR making a strong move. This is still doing that. It's doing this heartbeat action on the daily chart, where it's got higher lows and it's got lower highs on the channel, but it's not really breaking out on USAR. But it's close enough to the bottom. This could be a nice little swing. Yeah, this seems better than Zoom. With Zoom, you got to guess that the earnings are going to be good. But USAR, you just got a positive news piece. It just made a nice little fresh low. You get above that 15, showed you some support. You've got a clear area, a clear target area to get back up to the highs in around like $20, right? So that gives you a good R&R. That's a little more appealing because it's news-based. Like, you've got the positive news in on USAR. So it gives you a little extra juice, and it just set up the trend break on you here at the $15 level. Yeah, I mean, if I was looking to swing, I'd probably prefer that to Zoom, because at least I like what's going on in the space when it comes to USAR. So we have about 15 minutes to go until the imbalances come out. Ooh, another interesting one just came in here. CCJ, thank you, Steve Canyon. You can look at UUUUU. And I love this quote, Icky22. Trading is just gambling, place your chips. Well, in terms of success rate for a lot of people that try to trade and gambling, it's probably about the same thing. For anybody that I've seen that lasts in this game for a long period of time, you know, you're a successful trader, you make money consistently over years, you've been doing it for at least 5-10 years, that kind of a thing. Almost all of them have the mentality that's a little bit more like poker, where, yeah, it's just about getting your chips in when you think you have an advantage. If the pot odds favor it, then you just got to grit your teeth and you do it. If you have a read on some guy, it's like, okay, well, most of the time, the way that this is played out, he's bluffing, and my hand range is good enough that I should be making this call, then you do it. And if you lose, you lose. But you're like, I know that I would make that call 10 times out of 10 based on the situation. And that's poker, and that's sort of trading as well. It's not like the slot machines. The slot machines would be like just closing your eyes and hitting your keys. Yeah, I've never played a slot machine, actually. In my entire life, I've never played a slot machine. I've also never been to Vegas.
I've played slots before. There we go. Although the odds are way more in your favor that you become a much more successful gambler at a casino than you would be a trader. We've talked about those numbers over and over again, of course. But okay, thanks for watching the show, and here we go again, man. I mean, finally breaking. We'll take a couple outs right around here. We said 86.30 would be pretty sweet, so we're getting some out now. As maybe, I'll put another bid at 47. There we go, we grab it. I'm also bidding a significant amount here at Neil's favorite number 42, so we'll see if that can get out there, because the meaning of life is very important, and the meaning of Palantir is to not sit at 158, but I'm going to get that 158. Look, if I don't get it today, like I said, man, tomorrow, I'll grab a 160 print on that, hopefully. So we'll see if that happens here at the end of the day. 20 more minutes to get up on Palantir. But for me, it's all about the TQQs, as we'll continue to watch those hopefully melt into the close. But just in case they don't, we do have that bid there at 42. I may start to get some more out now. It seems like we are trying to hold somewhere around these sort of afternoon. It's not even the afternoon lows. The afternoon lows will be down into here for 1 o'clock. But something like this little breaking spot right there that we initially thought the short was good. It's a good thing we didn't stop out kind of where we almost got stopped out. And it's really, really wild that we didn't. You know, trading the futures in something that can move like this, and it happens with stocks too, but look at the volume that's on these level twos. It's really strange that like it comes up to certain levels and then just stops on a dime and then comes right back in. Like, what are the market forces that are creating this now that we couldn't do it the last 15 minutes? I don't think there's any news here, but we do await Jackson Hole tomorrow, so that should be really exciting. You're going to get Neil and Obi here. I'm sure Obi will trade the Qs, so that'll be exciting, and we'll have some trades for you there tomorrow as well. Make sure you do join us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. The only way to do that and be part of our chat is if you are a subscriber. Tesla seeming like it wants to move lower as well. Give me those 42s, man. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, I'm not seeing any news for the market move, but I do want to let you guys know we have some implied earnings moves for tonight after the bell. Intuit, Workday, and Ross Stores all reporting at 4 p.m. Then at 4:05 p.m. we have Zoom Technology, so join Sean and myself at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Market Recap Show, and check out this infographic and a whole lot more on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
But the only one we didn't look at was Intuit, I think, this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not into it, so.
I'm not that into that one either.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so again, just realizing that we only have 10 minutes left until these imbalances that can affect everything. Yeah, we're starting to piece out more and more of this. It doesn't look like we're going to get into those levels. So just even as we went over to Adara, we got another out there at 50. I'm bidding 53s as well. So if we come back in, we could take that out. I could punch it all out right now, and it's a great trade, but it's just trying to wait to see if there is a follow through. I'd hate for the futures. So we're lighter now on this. We have about 40% left. Maybe if I get filled down here at 46, we'll have a little bit less than that. I changed my 42. I put it to 46. So there it is. We get out of all that. Oh, this is going to suck. See, if I just waited, Neil. So there it goes all the way to the downside. Hey, we'll spin it, man.
42 is better.
It's a big one there. Yeah, I hope it all comes in at some point here. But there it is, man. Money being thrown around now here. And I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad that some of you are maybe in this trade or not. But there it goes. Nice downside push there. Yeah, I wish. So I got some out there at 53 and 46. Those two averaged are not 42, so we should have waited for that print, but you know what, it's okay. Here it comes back in. I'm waiting at 30s as well. I'm going to put something at 37 where we just stopped, and then we can put our hands back and see, because heading into tomorrow, like I said, are there nervous hands or not? If there are, then you should sell this most recent rip. So let's see if that happens here. We're short it. This is like, it's not next level thinking or anything. It's just thinking ahead, right? There's that saying, you can go where the puck is or go where you think it's about to go. So we hold on to the short. Sometimes we're wrong on these plays, that's for sure. But right now I'm thinking that we're right. So let's hold on and see. I'm bidding 37s right now, which would be nice to get. But yeah, short on the Nasdaq 100 I am. MP.
Sam, I am.
Yeah, there goes MP.
MP and UCAR
is
the other one.
That story we should have just.
That's the other one. MP, well, shoot, now I already forget the other one. Doesn't really matter. I want to go back to the early look imbalances. That CMBT is still sitting there. I checked. There's nothing happening specifically on this, so it looks like this could be completely random, and it just broke the low of the day. If it comes out of 3 million buy, this might be something I take a shot at to at least move into the volume-weighted average price. This is what it looks like. CMBT. I kept looking to see if there's something going on here to explain why it has a large imbalance, but low of day plus big buy imbalance. If at 350 it goes through 8, I might take a shot just like punching through 8 on this thing at that low of the day. Yeah. And if it comes out a sell or flips to a sell, then my guess is it doesn't go up. So hopefully I wouldn't get triggered into something nonsensical. Like it's a sell imbalance and it goes to the upside and I get triggered in. But I'm going to throw a stop order closer to 350 unless I see this thing start to pair off. I'd suspect you might see a few imbalances on Tesla or so, but at the end of the day, there's not, or Nvidia I should mean, but at the end of the day, there's not too much going on. Palantir is now through 157, so that ended up, the breakout just didn't go. What are you going to do? And it comes sliding back in. But you got to get out of those things when they don't go for you. I was looking to hold through a 158 break for sure, but it doesn't seem like this one wants to go today. No matter what, you cannot allow a sideways day in a stock like this to give you the wrong idea. This still looks to me like monster liquidity grab, consolidation. You're either breaking down or up, and when you do, you just want to be in it as far as I'm concerned. Like I don't think there's going to be a bigger potential stock again tomorrow than Palantir based on the way that it moved the 2 days before and the nice consolidation that we had here today. And I don't want to be married to one direction or another. I just feel like if it's breaking down, it's breaking down. If it's breaking out, it's breaking out. I'd rather take that shot in the stock that can go $5-10 than the other side of the coin.
All right, 344. Again, thanks everybody for being with us here today. Just a quick little look at the market one more time as we, actually, you know what, we can, let's look at CoinGecko right now and see what some of these cryptocurrencies or altcoins more about the altcoins, right? I mean, everybody sort of knows what Bitcoin has been doing. It's been on my screen the whole day. Not good right now, down to 112 after hitting 124 over the weekend. 112, not nice right there. And those, and like I said, there's traders that have bought Ethereum at the highs, and you're now down 7%. All new bag holders being made every day on Ethereum. XRP as well, down 6%. So shout out to those traders in XRP as well. That's down. Solana's down. I bought Solana at 200, right? That's down now, added to the position at 200. 6% as well. My Cardano down 5 in a bit is there. Dogecoin down 3. This is, I'm talking about 7 days. This is the 24-hour marker right here. So most of the damage that's been done over the last week is right now. Like Cardano down 4% today, down 5 on the week. Ethereum down 3% today, down 7 on the week, right? Ripple, XRP, kind of the same thing. So a lot of negativity today in the space, and yeah, not good, right? As you know, using exit liquidity, and you know, the market wants to thank you guys for that. BMNR, it's made a lot of money for a lot of traders, that's for sure. But here we go again today, just in this last afternoon, just basically since 3 o'clock, you're down about $2 on the downside there. And this name has made a lot of money for a lot of traders, right? But again, if you've been buying any of this in the last week or so, you're down. There's not too many opportunities to have been up on this name unless you caught this. And most of these gains are kind of pre-market, or you know, you had to get in real early. Hopefully no one stuck up north, anywhere north of like $60 or $70. That seems to have been the top here for BMNR, and there it goes. So the only way you could be in the money is if you sort of bought in this little downtrend. So if you bought in these 2 weeks as this is tanking, you sort of believed in it, that's great. And then obviously—
Or you bought the trend break.
Yeah, or you bought this break right there. And even, and if you did—
You have that day. That's what
yeah, you can, no, I mean, there's lots of opportunity. I'm just saying, like, averaging into this, hopefully if you're gonna average in like we did on BBAI, then you gotta average out. So hopefully you're able to get something out there. And then sure, just like me on Big Bear AI, right? We talked about where our average price was 420 on this. We have a 650 out, an 850 out, right? So just as we were averaging in on Big Bear AI, and I hope that I did a good job explaining to you what the strategy was going to be on this one. Came back in right into here. We bought at 5, we bought at 4, and then we bought down here at 3, giving us that average price of 420. It broke through. We did our first exits right around here, 650 again. It was going to be 650, but it opened that day. It was going to be 630, but it opened that day. We got 650. And then we did our next little bit of work, and we just saw basically the same type of thing right into here, where we had some topping tail candles. And you guys, well, we didn't have them there, but we did have them there, but not here. We used 850 as our next area to get some out. We did that live on the show. And I'm not a buyer of Big Bear AI. They came out with earnings and went quadunk down to the downside. So I'm still in this position. I only got out probably 20 or 30%. So we're going to now wait to see what happens with Big Bear AI moving forward. We're still in the money here at 40% or whatever it is, but looking for more upside on BBAI. So if you're going to average in on the way down, I just gave you an example there, try to average out on the way up. That way you're not holding the whole bag when it comes back in, like I've done many times or back in the day on the marijuana stocks. But
stay off the weed.
Stay off. Well, you can stay on the weed, fine, but don't invest in it. It would be my advice. Right into there, we just bounced pretty good off. We were hoping that the 200 period was something. But right now, 40 looks to potentially be near a bottom with only a minute left. I'm going to put a bid at 46. Hopefully, did we get that? No, we did not. Hopefully the market will crank a little bit lower off this number, but you know, anything could happen now as we wait for the imbalances to come through. So still bidding 46s. There it is. We get those fills now. So we're getting out. Remember, I don't pay a per transaction fee on a gateway. Like I just sat there on ARCA. So if that's 100 shares, it's small, but you'd get that $2. So it's not like, if you're paying like $3 or $4 every time you're trading, it's not the right space to do this kind of trading or any kind of trading that you see any of us do here on the show. All right, so here we go, man. 30 seconds to go. We'll just put some bids out. Maybe we'll stop out if this breaks 70 this time. Let's not turn a winning trade into a loser. We'll get on the TQs if it breaks that 70 mark. But we did a good job so far.
Yeah, we're gonna have the imbalances in a couple of seconds. Oh, CMBT came out and it is not on the board, so I'm out of it instantly. Whoops, I wanted to go to CMBT for you, not CoreWeave. CMBT. Oh, it's on the New York, that's why.
All right, here we go.
Took the shot on that one. I had like that expected. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The buy and bounce came right after. Well, I'm not going to trade without a stop. But it then popped up for 1.6 million. Rigetti's a sell of 1.2 million. Cisco, 1 million to the sell side. What else we got? Where are the big cap tech names? Nowhere to be found. Lucid, nobody cares. Maybe somebody does. I'm sorry. Broadcom 280. Is it there now?
It's at 429.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even go that far down. At Broadcom 500. Where's way down here? Nvidia 429. That is one heck of a nothing burger for the imbalances. Rigetti, that's the one. 1.2 million to sell on Rigetti is not nothing. I haven't looked at this stock in a hot minute. Didn't even move, probably because it was already at the low of the day. So Rigetti doesn't even flinch. That's still right to the downside. Yeah, Rigetti did. Oh, this is right at the 50 period. Well, hello, everybody. We always say this. If you're going to use an indicator, make sure the indicator is actually something the stock respects. Rigetti is bouncing second day in a row, and it's definitely held this 50. Since regaining the 50 period in May, this has really respected it. It plays in both directions. If we lose that tomorrow, I'm just going to put this one on my iPad just to make sure, because I haven't looked at Rigetti in a while. So if it's there, that means I'll at least look at it tomorrow, regardless of if it's on the watch list or not. So Rigetti goes in there just because it's at that 50 period, either direction. If we're catching a bit above it, can look for breaks. But if we're breaking down underneath this 14 level tomorrow morning, then to me, Rigetti is going to be an obvious short trade, just technically speaking. There you go. You never know. Sometimes the imbalance locator shows you something that you wouldn't have looked at otherwise. This is a stock that usually is on the radar with a catalyst, but breaking support is a catalyst last time I checked in. Yeah, Danny, CMBT is going. But at the end of the day, that trade, it's a gimmicky trade. And sometimes what will happen is that imbalance of 1.6 million didn't show right away. It actually came like a couple of seconds after, but I'm not waiting for that. Like it was an expected 2.9. My stop was in the second I was long, and then it stops out. Then the imbalance of a 1.6 million buy shows up a second later, and then it ramps to the upside. But if I don't have that stop, what happens if that split second that the imbalance doesn't come out? It's a sell of 1 million shares, and I didn't have a stop. What do you think happens then? Then we're getting out down here. So, you got to have a plan of action. Like just because it worked doesn't mean that I'm regretting it. I would never trade those gimmicky style trades without an out because it can get really, really nasty. And I've seen it happen too. And you just sort of gamble on the imbalances without any kind of a plan. Trust me, you can win big, but you can lose just as big. We've seen some of that in the past, for sure. But Rigetti, I'm glad we looked at that. That should be an interesting one tomorrow. Whether or not holds a 50 period or not, I'm willing to trade in either direction.
All right, so earnings tonight, we have Workday, and that's starting to pump up right now, up to 228. So we'll see what happens here with Workday. This is what their chart looks like, lower. So we'll see if they can impress us on that one right there. That's Workday. And then we also have ZM Zoom coming through today as well, Zoom Communications. So we'll see what's going on with that. Did I just get filled on something?
Workday.
No. Okay, what did I get filled on there? Nothing. The futures came in. Okay, so we're still on this futures level there. There it is. Yeah, let's get lower now as it's starting to print just a little bit for us. So good trade there to end the day with these TQQs. We were getting a little nervous as it ripped upside. We told you where it was a break of the 70. So I was like, you know what? We'll get some out here. 40s, 50s, and we got some out at 60s, and we just got another 50 fill down there as well, a couple of them there. We got a 57 and a 50, and now we'll wait to see if we can get a little bit lower, and we will also cover up our AMD trade now again as well, and this is going to be a big one there. Obviously, we're $1.70 in the money on AMD, but we haven't done this in a while, so we'll leave AMD alone, and hopefully the futures will crank lower here into the close. Only 5 minutes left. We'll see if we get a flip up. Maybe the futures tank at 355.
Well, it weren't big imbalances, but we got a lot of questions today about swing trading. And if you're looking at Trade the Pool lately, you've recognized they have something new for everybody. And it's a free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. And we'll see at 55. Nothing was really gigantic. There is, okay, Rigetti obviously flipped. That was 1.3 million to sell. It's not there anymore. Yeah, pretty much nothing is even there, over 1 million shares outside of that CMBT, which is actually still climbing higher. Kind of random, that one, no index action whatsoever. So a sleeper day when it comes to the imbalances. It shouldn't be a sleeper in the aftermarket show at all, partly because Zoom, Workday, and Intuit should all be movers. And all of them, well, 2 of them anyways, I still haven't looked at Intuit. Both of the last 2, Zoom and Workday, both caught a bid right at the close, interestingly enough. So someone seems to like it, or maybe when a stock is trend down, risk off means buying before earnings. I tend to look at it that way a lot of times. Instead of think someone knows something, if a stock has been trending down in earnings, then I kind of anticipate the last thing is it might go up because someone's buying to get out, and then vice versa as well. So Workday, they're expected to be we're getting these right at the bell at 4 o'clock. So we'll move as quickly as we can to make sure we get those earnings to you live like we always do. Adara and Sean on the desk.
Yeah, I'll be busy. I'm not home till, I was telling you there, I get home and then I'm not home until 10:30 because we have baseball tonight, 8 to 10. So that should be fun. We'll get there. We
got to use Game Changer.
For what?
That app that lets you watch the games. It's awesome.
But I coach, though.
I know, but as long as someone just has to set up the phone. There's an app that allows you, it tracks the games for not professional teams. And so a friend of mine, he puts the phone behind home plate or whatever, and you put up there mounted, and then you can stream the game, and the score
and you
comes.
fill out, and someone has to put in the count or whatever.
I was watching.
I have game. I mean, I have that.
Baseball.
We have that.
It'd be cool to watch
It is really cool to watch her. So tonight we'll be coaching, and not home till later, and then that's fine. And then tomorrow the tournaments begin. We don't have a game until 3 or so tomorrow, so that should be a lot of fun. So check that out. We're at practice. So my kid right now, one is at baseball camp, and then one is at Dungeons and Dragons camp, and then the other tonight we have hockey and baseball, and then tomorrow hockey, and we'll see what happens over the weekend. And then I'm golfing on Monday, so that should be fun. So we're going to do that. I'm taking my 13-year-old golfing. He should have a lot of fun. He was at the camp last week and loved it. So we're going out on Monday to hit the links. So I won't be here tomorrow or Monday. So have a good one to everybody there as well. All right. So yeah. Again, good holding on to the futures there. I hope some of you were able to trade a little bit of that. And don't use all these outs as my outs. This is whatever you guys want. And this is why I keep on telling you guys about key levels. We keep on bouncing off of them. I just scalp them out. I got to do better not doing that. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. So we're going to continue to do that. And Google is the stock to look at, I think. There's the move down. Breaking now down through 200. You can see what winds up happening with this name tomorrow. But look at this support right here, 199.50 all day. We can't do it now. There's only 2 minutes left in this day, but pretty good trading, man. The futures are now 40 cents. The TQQs are now 40 cents in the money. Uber is a trade that I probably get out soon. It just keeps on coming up to these same levels and then bouncing around and this and that. Other than the Nasdaq, though, or the S&P, I guess the S&P 500 or Berkshire, there's not really too many ETFs I like right this second. That metals one might be something interesting because I don't have any metal exposure whatsoever. I do not like the energy space, so I don't have many investments in that. I just have whatever I have left in XLE. But Uber right here just seems to have been pretty top heavy. You go back to May and it faded off that. We get it again 97, then down, and then you get it from there to the downside as well. So Uber could be another sell, but here it is, man. Oh boy, it is a money trade to end of the day, and I'm glad for this. I mean, obviously we wish we had more shares, but there it is. There's the level. We gave it to you. We didn't trust it ourselves, or else we would have waited, but there's that 86.30 level right there, right at the 200 period moving average. So we get some decent fills there at the end of the day. So topping it off, less than 1 minute to go. We might have, whatever, I'll just bid them all out right now. Bid some 39s, maybe we get them, maybe we don't. But so far so good. Good trade to end the day. There it is, yes sir. We get them all out there at 39 as the futures now. Now that they know I'm out, they'll probably collapse, but we're now out of that with only 30 seconds to go.
Only 30 seconds to go. Good trade there. If you're in that CMBT, I know it's at the high of the day, but it's completely paired off that buy and balance. It's at the hops. Probably want to take profit on that thing if you still have it. It's no longer on the board. Only 20 seconds now to go. Here, remember, right after the bell, we're expecting earnings pretty quick in Workday, Intuit, and Zoom. And the countdown is now on, brought to you by Beta Pro, by GlobeX, 3X Bear and Bull ETFs. Check them out in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. And there you go. The market is now closed, so I don't actually see anything yet. Sean's gonna get on up to the desk there. Workday not really doing anything yet. Zoom was running right into the close, as we can already see here. So that one's already up, despite the fact that the orders aren't out. And Intuit, it looks like Intuit is out already, but it's not really moving just yet here on INTU. I mean, I'm hearing some numbers in here for sure, but certainly not moving a heck of a lot yet. But it's an expensive stock. Let's let this one settle down a little bit here. Look, it's going to be a fun one, of course, like it always is. Oh, and there it goes. First move to the downside. Intuit now plunging. 20, 30, 40, $50 to the downside. It's a $700 stock, everybody, so it's not really that much, but 7% to the downside right there on Intuit. We're going to get up to the desk. The market recap show with Dara and Sean, Intuit, Zoom, and Workday earnings right about now. Go get them.
All right, man. No rest for the wicked. What's up, Adara? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, Intuit $700. So that's something for me to trade tomorrow, maybe. But yeah, all jokes aside, it's a day. I'm happy to be back with you all, and I have Intuit earnings if we want to go over those, Sean.
Sure. Ross Stores also apparently out now as well. So there's Intuit right now, down to 650 ROST. We're going to go over the Intuit numbers in just 1 second. Adara has them, and also Ross Stores downside as well. So Adara, give it to us on Intuit.
Yeah, I have Intuit here, and I guess investors were not into it, even though they did have a double beat. Earnings of $2.75 per share, better than the expected $2.66. So those are adjusted earnings per share here. Sales also beating estimates, $3.83 billion versus $3.75 billion expected. Sean, I also have Ross Stores, so let's get into that as well. ROST, they beat here on earnings per share. Earnings of $1.56 per share versus $1.53 expected. Sales, though, $5.529 billion, missing estimates of $5.574 billion. So that is a EPS beat and a sales miss for Ross Stores. We're also waiting here for Workday. Zoom is coming at 405, so we're not expecting Zoom yet. WDAY is really working out well if you were long into that call, or sorry, that report. I'm not seeing the numbers yet for Workday, Sean.
Okay, yeah, so we'll wait for that. We do have the Benzinga Pro platform here. We do want to thank Beta Pro and Global X for sponsoring this market recap show. Thank you. Go check them out at Beta Pro. So Workday is now out as well, $2.41 EPS right now for WDAY. It looks like they want to go higher here. So yeah, it's starting to go right now. The estimate was $2.12, so a nice beat there. Looks like a revenue beat as well of 235 versus 234. WDAY Workday continues to push a little higher right now on this is a 900-minute chart, but the daily right now 277. You know, interesting area there. We get up as far as 240. Now we're fading back in a little bit on WDAY. Actually realizing this is a 1 minute chart.
I have WDAY numbers.
Let's go over to a 1 minute chart right there. Okay, so that's out there. INTU, the big one that many of you may be in, you know, file your taxes and so on and so forth. This one now down. You can see it was down today, only 0.2, but right now down in the after hours, down 7%. Expected move 6% for INTU. But there, you said you had the Workday numbers, and right now they're up 4% in after hours.
I do. They beat here on adjusted earnings, $2.21 per share versus $2.12 expected. Sales, $2.348 billion versus $2.342 billion expected. So narrow sales beat. Nice earnings beat here for WDAY. As of right now, we have about 2 minutes of reprieve until we get Zoom earnings. We're expecting those at 405.
That's right. We have Zoom earnings today as well. Okay. Today's session was basically choppy, no matter which way you're going to put it. We did have anticipation for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we'll hear Jerome Powell, and we'll hear what he has to say. I was just sort of poking the bear a little bit today, thinking that, trying to get some reaction from you traders. I don't think it's going to be an overly bullish or bearish event. I would lean to bullish. Every time Powell comes out, I always feel that there's a little bit of negativity, and then he calms the waters and we start to go forward. This is a prepared speech, so I don't really expect too much to be flying at him. There is going to be a question and answer period, I believe, as well.
I don't think last year there was one.
Okay, so then I'm even more bullish.
Don't quote me on that, guys. Don't quote me on that. Okay. Last year, I don't remember there being one, though.
All right, so we'll find out if there is a Q&A, and obviously we'll be here. There's no better place to be than right here tomorrow at 10 a.m. as we'll review the speech. Adira will highlight any keywords, and so will we here, and we'll be trading that live on the show. So make sure you join us. And then, hey, man, don't do anything. That's my suggestion. Wait to see what happens. Figure it out. Maybe make a play an hour, 2 hours into it on the report. So, all right. So, yeah.
I want to scalp the report.
Yeah. You can go back and forth, but remember, I think it's a prepared speech right there. I'm not super excited about it either way. And the reason why I'm more bullish than bearish is because everyone seems to be bearish about it, and I don't really know why. So we'll just hold out on this. I mean, if he goes out and says, "Hey, look, there's definitely no numbers looking like we're going to make a cut," or produce that in September, then I could really see a downside push. And the most recent rate cut actually now, Adara, has it at 73%. So I don't have it up right now. It's the CME Fed rate. Zoom is now out right here. We'll get
I'm not seeing the numbers yet, but
$1.53 versus $1.37. So a big beat there for Zoom right now. All right, 172 versus 198. So it looks like they might miss on revenue, but beat on EPS. So right there, now goes Zoom. Double beat, okay, good. So a double beat there, so beating on the top and the bottom. Today's Zoom today, 1.4%. Lucid is going 1 for 10, stock split. So Lucid will see, there it goes. Watch out for Lucid right now. You heard it here first. Buy Lucid right now. This will go up into $20. I don't know what the effective date is, but this will be a $20 name.
29th.
August 29th. Okay, so we're just seeing that out right now, live right here at Trader TV on our market recap show. We're telling you right now, Lucid's going to go 1 for 10. Bad news. I don't know why they're doing that, to be honest with you. They obviously didn't get a notice from the Nasdaq or anything like that. They're not under $1. That's a very, very strange look for me on Lucid, wondering why they would do that. We know what happens to stocks that split, man. It's like it's like a nail in your coffin. Right there. So the reason why I said get long is you do get a temporary bump on this kind of news, and then the fade starts to happen. So watch out, man. Lucid on the prowl right now with that recent stock split, reverse stock split announcement there. But Adara, I know you reported the workday number there.
I did.
But maybe the guidance is bad, because here comes workday right now turning red. Was up 4% not too long ago.
Yeah.
Now we're going red. My hair a little bit better there today. On workday, so what do you want to talk about?
I have guidance for pretty much everything, but I'll just start with what I have up right now, which is Zoom, but I can go over everything right now. I have them all lined up, so that would be, I have Zoom, Intuit, Workday, and Ross. Actually have them all ready. So let's talk here first about Zoom. They reported adjusted earnings of $1.53 per share versus estimates of $1.37. As Sean mentioned earlier, big beat. Sales, $1.217 billion versus $1.198 billion expected. Also a beat. They guided Q3 adjusted earnings between $1.42 and $1.44 per share. That's above estimates. They guided sales for Q3 between $1.21 billion and $1.215 billion versus $1.211 billion expected. So midpoint here, generally, though, a beat for ZM. Let's talk about WDAY, because you just mentioned that one. Their sales were a really narrow beat there. I think it's worth reminding people of that as well. But their Q3 sales guidance, probably what's tanking them here, or sinking them at least a little bit. $2.235 billion they're guiding for Q3 versus $2.423 billion expected, so lower than expected guidance. Let's talk about Intuit, and then we'll talk about Ross guidance, because I do have guidance for all of these, which is rare I get them all around the same time. So Q1 sales guidance for Intuit, $4.367 billion to $4.367 billion to $4.406 billion. Either way, it's above the guidance of $3.81 billion. The guided fiscal 2026 adjusted earnings here, well above estimates. Sales also guided well above estimates. So this guidance is great for INTU. The market does not agree, though, with that objective assessment. Let's take a look here at Ross Stores guidance before I send you back to Sean. Ross Stores guiding Q3 GAAP earnings guidance here, $1.31 to $1.37, well below estimates of $1.49. But for some reason, they're also guiding 2 quarters ahead. So next quarter, they're actually missing here on Q3 guidance. Q4, though, actually beating guidance expectations, $1.74 to $1.81 per share versus $1.71 expected. Lots of guidance there. I'll let you guys all digest that. And I apologize for the little ramble there.
No, that's okay. Amazon.
There's more on Workday.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of news coming in, including Zoom now going red. So Zoom Media now getting to the red side. It's going to be flat here on the day. We were up 1.4% on the day, but it looks like after hours right now down 0.5% right now on Zoom. So what goes up, unfortunately, right here must go down. It looks like we do get a triple miss across the board here. It looks like today there's 4 in a row. Ross. And then, let me see if anything's happening with Lucid. There's some traders there. This is like a little bit of a death sentence, I think, reverse splits. So I don't know why they're doing it. I did say get long. I mean, we went up to 219 right there. Now we just faded back out. It doesn't look like the stock's really reacting to this news. So I would say calm down and let's not do anything. Maybe reverse splits are just bad news for when you're under $1 and you're reverse splitting to stay above $1. Right now, not sure why Lucid wants to do that other than to get their symbol at $20. I could figure out maybe that. Amazon, Tesla, Meta were among the weaker Mag 7 tickers today. And apparently right now, Tesla's making a little bit of a move down in the after hours. And yes, it is. It was kind of a sell-off right there into the close. I'm not really sure what was up with that move. If we go to a little bit of a larger time frame here for Tesla, we can have a quick look at that. Yeah, not really. Just kind of pulls back. We had that good short at the end of the day there. That was a good one, bringing our net back to reality a little bit. So back there now to 319 or so down near the bottom there for Tesla. We'll see if it can wind up holding that. Another weaker name, again, down today 1.7%. Nasdaq today only down 0.46%, but it was Tesla leading the way. You did have AMD, you had Walmart on negative earnings. So, you know, it's not great. We talked about jobless claims being a little bit higher there today. Walmart shedding some light. Big revenue time for Walmart, but not a great guide. We'll see what they can put forward. Walmart down 4 and a bit today. Just never really got going. It tried to go off that very bottom of 97. Actually, I guess we did get back to 98.50 there, but closing at or near some of those lows for Walmart, down 4.4% today. Not great. And again, there it is, bouncing off the 50 period. We'll see if we can hold this 94.50 area for WMT. But yeah, Tesla today. So I just saw someone in the chat say it's not a significant move. I agree with you on that one. And we said that earlier that we're not, when stocks are moving up and down 1%, look, they're big moves in like notionally, but at the end of the day, a 1.15% move on a stock like Meta, it's had a rough time as well, pulling back down now, almost down 10% from its highs. Most Mag 7 names and big cap names are down roughly 10%. Hence, why I think Nvidia could slip up just a little bit, but we're not down 10% from its highs. Its high is about 184 down to 174, so you're only down about 6 to 7% from their all-time highs. So a little slip up tomorrow, maybe Nvidia hits the skids just a bit, but now we're only 4 days away from their earnings report, which comes next Wednesday. Workday out with something?
Yeah, Workday had lowered, extremely lowered their sales guidance from 9.5 billion to 8.815 billion. That is well below the estimate of 9.51 billion. So they already were slightly missing their sales guidance, and they lowered it even more. But Sean, I have news on a whole bunch of other things as well.
Gosh.
So let me go over it. I do apologize for talking quickly, guys, but the market moves quickly, and I just try to keep up. That's all we can do here. W here, Wayfair, apparently repurchasing roughly $101 million worth of 3.5% convertible senior notes. Not really moving here, but AB&B was, I would say, the more interesting catalyst. Now, I did put it briefly on screen, but it wasn't really market moving, so I didn't mention it live on the show. But Donald Trump just signed an executive order to create the first chief design officer of the U.S. And so apparently, according to this Bloomberg report, that chief design officer could be Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia. Now, that's not confirmed. That's just a report. But AB&B actually did move a little bit on that. As you can see, this whip.
I heard that was just before bell close, right?
Yeah, I think it came out right at 4, but I'm just seeing it circulate now. Anyway, Bloomberg reporting that this chief design officer of the U.S. could be Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia.
Okay, that's cool. So we never want a co-founder to leave a company, so I'm surprised. Could go the other.
I don't know if he's still with the company.
Okay, that would be the other thing. Okay, that's what I was going to say. Surprised at the movement there in the stock, especially if they lose a key holder, but I guess they're not. Okay,
he's
so not involved anymore. Okay, so that's why Airbnb probably not reacting too much to that news. All right, today's strength in the Mag 7 was led just by one name, and it was Google. And today Google, of course, announced they had some nice cloud deals with S&P Global, which is big, of course, and the U.S. government. And we were sort of thinking like, oh my gosh, the U.S. government deal with Google has to affect Palantir in some way. That's just so funny that the high of the day is 157.97. I'm sitting there at 158 trying to get some shares out. But we'll have to wait to see what happens tomorrow on Palantir. We didn't get filled, so we're fine. We're waiting for that one. Yeah, Chief Design Officer. I don't know, what is the U.S. government designing? A new logo or something?
No, just he wants it to be more aesthetically pleasing when you do government website things. So that's, we know one time he went on a very long rant about how he made the Oval Office gold and now it's better looking, and this lasted about 10 minutes during a cabinet meeting. So he enjoys design, and apparently to the extent where it's a new position.
I mean, when I think about that kind of stuff, I just hope that for U.S. taxpayers, everything like that, this doesn't come with a decent salary or anything like that, because I feel like that's, look, if it makes the website more efficient and everything like that and easier for social services or complaints, something like that, then I could see maybe that being worth it again. But we'll figure it out. No idea about that. I mean, I think ease of using websites is very important these days. So let's give a shout out to that, and let's see what winds up happening right now. I mean, I'm just getting more information about Workday right now. I don't know why it's so violent here today, but well, we already talked about it. It was a good beat in the guide, but there it goes right now at session lows right now for Workday, hitting the skids now down to 218, and just taking out some levels. Like, you're going to try to hold. The 52-week low right here is 205. So look out below here for Workday. We had Intuit numbers come through as well today. So there goes Intuit. Off a little bit from the bottom now. Intuit trying to battle back. That's Workday and Intuit. Ross Stores came through. This one, again, we've seen TJX just absolutely rocket to the north side. And it looks like Ross might be the only one here today that winds up holding the bid. ROSS Stores, symbol ROST, trying to hold out there. And then Zoom Media, maybe the one that most of you, or Zoom Communications, sorry, most of you may hold this one. And now that's back upside again. So it looks like, I know I said we were going to go 0 for 4 there, but it looks like now we're 2 for 4 with the last two names here, Zoom and Ross higher, Workday and Intuit a little bit lower right now. Yeah, the president needs to hire our design team in the back there. We are very, very excited to watch out to see what goes on with Studio 8. You guys hear all the clanging and all the move in the background. I actually like the background when we sit there. So we're going to get some interesting things. There it is. What's up, everybody? Here we go. So nobody in those seats right now. How come no one's actually working? Like, when the show's on completely, there's tons of noise. And now it's just me and you up here. Yeah. Everyone's gone. So, all right, there it is, man. The possible rate cut possibilities here for September. Adair, this used to be 94, 96%, down to 73% off a couple of recent numbers. We've talked about that coming through again. And then, not that Lisa Cook has anything to do with this, but we could get a shakeup in the Fed. So we'll have to see where that goes. Is she a voting member?
Well, yeah, so she's a governor. But here's the thing, Sean. Apparently, she's actually more dovish. So she would theoretically more likely be, and again, this is just from some analysis I've read, theoretically, she's actually more likely to vote on the side that Trump wants. But here's the thing. I looked into it. All of this mortgage evidence is just Bill Pulte taking like these screenshots of her signature without context and then adding context. So we can't see anything. Like, I'm not saying she's innocent by any means. I just want us to be able to objectively analyze the data, which at this point we literally can't, because we only have screenshots from a man who has legitimately, how do I put this? Pretended that there were rumors that Fed Chair Powell was leaving, when it turns out rumors were started by Pulte himself. Right. So you got to think about the source, I think, a lot of times, and I stand by that.
This administration has a history of doing things like that. Like when Donald Trump woke up one day and said there's people talking about a third term, him running. Which, I feel like that might have been a dream that he had, that he manifested to let all of us talk like that, right?
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
Sorry, Trump.
That's right. He got indicted. Trump has done many things and gone to court for many, many things that I was pretty sure he potentially, if not president, would not be.
You are fake news.
Running around the streets right now. So I don't know if I'm reporting fake.
Dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Right. Were they eating pets? I'm not sure, but I do remember that.
I'm not going to comment.
I do remember that that talk there, and was it Haitians he was talking about? I think I just heard.
That's what they they said was happening.
Remember, if President Trump says something, it most likely is true. So, okay, so there he goes. Here we go. So this is what it looks like for October. So it looks like we could get a little more excited. Remember, so current rate right now, 425 to 450. So there's a 25% chance that we hold tight there in September, which I think that's going to get higher as we get closer. It's going to be real interesting if these numbers are real close to each other come September. And then we go back over. There's a chance for 50 basis points right there. 34% chance right now that we are at 375 by the October rate cut. And then by year end, I don't know if we're going to go to this level here, give us down 75 basis points. But right now there's a 25% chance for 3/4 of a point there. So 75 basis point rate cut, the chance come December right there. The stock heat map today, an interesting one for sure. Some names that you maybe not would have expected to be read into a day like today. There's Google holding out. With the Nasdaq again down about 0.6 on the day, we're not seeing any names that have been screaming red. The retail trade, again, everyone sort of thought that this was the last leg for earnings, which it is. We are hoping for better results on the retail side. Home Depot came with a good report a couple days ago, down yesterday on Target, down today on Walmart. Costco also feeling the pain, down 2.5%, again, off of more Walmart trade. So again, just some shrapnel being fired around. Ross Stores, we'll see if we can help that number tomorrow, but down 0.5% to start with as we get going. Today, again, yesterday we had some nice names up yesterday as we had a little bit of a flight to safety, as we saw some growth stocks getting hit yesterday. AMD down yesterday, Nvidia, Palantir, a lot of those names. Well, a lot of these names right here, Fabian, were up yesterday. Caterpillar, Deere, some of these names that have a decent dividend that can be supported were nicely traded to the long side yesterday. Today coming back in a little bit. GE Vernova, a name that got hit recently, potentially a buy as well. Yesterday's big sector though that we had talked about was consumer non-durables, as again, more traders say, hey, what do we need to survive in this environment? Well, we need good products with big brand names, and these names will have dividend aristocrats, always raising their dividend, always paying out. And again, if you're looking for that 3 to 5%, maybe some of these names are in the 2% range, then you've got them right here. And today we go downside a bit. Procter & Gamble down 0.4%, Philip Morris downside, or is that Altria? Philip Morris, yeah, MO is Altria. So Philip Morris right there. Pepsi down 1.6% today as well. Hershey. So some of the names that sort of helped us with yesterday's trade down again today. So you could just see sometimes we go back and forth a little bit with what sectors are hot and what sectors are not. But there goes Zoom as well to the upside.
Next guidance was solid across the board.
They got Zoom guidance?
Well, yeah, I mentioned like the quarterly guidance earlier. It was better than expected, but their guidance for the fiscal year as well, they raised it, and it's pretty solid. So they raised their fiscal 2026 adjusted EPS guidance from 556 to 559 versus 581 expected. So they raised it to 581 to 584 versus 558 expected. So this is the new guidance, well above their estimates. They raised their fiscal 2026 sales guidance to $4.825 billion to $4.835 billion versus estimates of $4.807 billion. So better than expected guidance twice along. I also want to mention here for the Nasdaq, because we talked about, why are people thinking bearish for the Jackson Hole? So I went back because I know last year was pretty volatile. So what happened was at 10 a.m., this is when we get this breakout candle here. This is when Powell starts talking. He does get prepared remarks. Then we get this, I guess, slightly higher high, higher low, twice over. Then I believe it's probably around when the prepared remarks stop that we start selling off. Now, I left that day around 11 and came back at 2, so I don't remember intimately all this price action, but I do remember all of this. I had an appointment that day, I did it memory times. And so, yeah, I mean, we basically more or less trended lower until about 1 p.m. So that is, I think, why people are leaning bearish towards the Jackson Hole. I showed my infographic earlier today, but generally, there will be some kind of sharp action to the upside or downside. Now, the sharpest downside action days were 2019 and the infamous Jackson Hole speech of 2022.
So what was the day before? What were we up on the day? Yes.
So the day before we sold off.
No, but I mean, we opened up, so it was a green day is what I was getting
Vaguely.
at.
Yes, like if
No,
you
no,
look
no,
where we
pretty-
opened versus where we closed.
Oh, we're open. Yeah, but look at the day before is what I'm saying.
Yes,
so if
yeah,
you
we
go
gapped
down
up.
there, so we gapped up there, so I can see this happening tomorrow. Then there we go. So this is why I didn't even know that happened.
I actually have
but I was
all
pretty
the stats
bullish.
on
So
it. Give me a second.
there we go, and that makes a little bit of sense there
Here's
today.
the infographic if you actually want to see.
Yeah, I mean we might as well put it up.
here
I
we
mean it's
go.
happening tomorrow.
So yeah, roughly 1% to the upside for both the SPY and the Q last year and the year before. But as you guys can see, 2022 and 2019 we sold off pretty harshly.
Yeah.
Generally though, we're going to be like up more than we are down.
Look at that. That 4% day is a problem.
Well, that was the day of the inflation is not
Yeah,
transitory. That was that day.
right.
But and this is a real photo of Powell. This is not AI. I do not use AI photos of people. I only use real photos.
Right, thank
this
God.
is a legitimate photo of Powell that we found at. Honestly, they had multiple angles of this picture. This one seemed to be the most flattering, but I
Yeah.
wanted him to look a little bit sportier.
Yeah, why not? A little casual action there
Right,
for him. Hit the golf course, make his speech, hit the golf course, enjoy yourself, Mr. Jerome Powell. Today we had some key headlines in metals happening. The U.S. could tap mining waste to reduce critical metal dependence, so that was good. Aluminum stocks rallying today as well. Cobalt, there was a story there. There was a story about the U.S. government, was it Army or Navy or something looking into cobalt? Defense, yes, okay, so yeah, that's Army, Navy, and
I'll
all
find
that.
the specifics.
So nice move to the upside right there for XME. So if you're looking for some sector strength today, we do get some love there for metals. And I'm not sure what that wound up doing to Cliffs. No, nothing, down 1.4%. FCX, again, a copper play there today, up 1% for FCX. They're trying to hold out something as well. But yeah, not too many cobalt plays to talk about. Oh, we got MP Metals. I just want to check in Lucid, not doing anything. Okay, MP Metals. Lucid today announces a 1-for-20 stock split. This is a 5-minute chart we have on there, and there's that announcement. Boom. Therefore, MP Metals, a nice top play there as that's starting to go through. The high end for MP. We're going to watch out for $80. Again, the United States government taking a stake in this company. And it's a nice move there. And what the other one was USAR? No,
USAR.
Yeah, USAR. Okay. There it is. So rare earth, again, on the move late today. That is for sure. All right, a little bit of a pullback in some names with earnings plays. We just talked about Intuit. So this is a 5-minute chart again. Let's just check them out. We only have 4 minutes left. So Intuit right now lower on those numbers. We'll go over these in just a couple seconds. If there's anything in the chat that you want us to talk about, we'll talk about it right now.
People are talking about with
Lucid?
that. Yeah.
Okay, there's not too much going on with
That's
Lucid.
it.
That was a 1-for-20 reverse stock split, of course. Intuit that we just talked about, Adaira's been sort of dropping those numbers. Good. Q1 sales higher than expected. Intuit again beats 275 versus 276. Sales of 383 versus 375. So I don't really see where the problem is here for Intuit. Again, and I'm just talking about this Benzinga report right here. Q1 sales higher than expected. The guidance should be okay for Intuit. So we're not really sure what's going on with that stock as that heads lower. Zoom Media today comes out again. Q3 adjusted EPS 142 to 144, beating 139. So their expectation is higher on a upside beat as well. Top and bottom line for Zoom. Let's check out what's going on with Zoom Communications right now, zooming to the high side. Not really. Up 5%, which is a good move for Zoom today as well. Thank you for staying late with us, by the way. We want to always thank you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. This show brought to you by Beta Pro. So thank you to Beta Pro for coming out on that as well. All right, so just Raw Stores here. Let's go and see what they did. Raw Stores Q2 150. So this is still ZM. Hold on a second. ROST, here it is. Raw Stores today comes out with 156 versus 153. Beat. So the stock goes upside, right? It hits 150 right there, up 3% in the after hours right now. But their sales was a miss. But their gap also EPS miss. So they're going to guide a little lower, but they beat on EPS, which is strange, but miss on both of their guides and their revenue number. So it's interesting to see this up right there. We've seen names like Walmart and, of course, Target. Target got hit on the CEO switch, so that was interesting there. And then Workday today as well, Adaira, another name that reported. This is actually now at lows. Guidance is very, very mixed. Between 8.8 to 9.5 billion. So a little bit missing there on their guide. Too wide of a guide, in my opinion, I guess, for Workday. But they had Q3 sales beating. No, they missed, actually. I don't know why Benzinga. You see what I'm saying here? Look what Benzinga has for Workday. His sales green. 223 versus 242. So that's actually a red. But there it is right there,
They
221.
have all the numbers green for guidance, but they didn't say
Beating
beat or
212.
miss. They
Right,
just
they just-
show what they are.
Right, that's what I was going to
But
say.
it's misleading, but they
right.
did miss.
So there it is. So yeah, you know, you can't guide these days any lower and expect to go higher. So that's a miss there on workday, ending the day to the downside. Look, man, nobody knows. Thanks for this little thing here. Are we having fun? We always are on this show. So there it is, 82% having fun right now. Thank you so much for joining Adara and I one more time. I'm not in for the next little while, and it's going to be a good one. It's just family time, taking some time off here in the summer, as these are the slower days. I mean, obviously, with Jackson Hole tomorrow, I would love to be here, but I got some landscaping to do around the house, so I got to cut the grass. It's been raining.
Are you hiring a chief design officer?
No, I don't hire. The wife hires me to do all of that. So
You're the chief design officer.
I'm the chief trimming officer, as will be
CTO, nice.
CTO. Yeah,
Step
will be
aside, chief tech officer.
yeah, trimming some of the bushes there on the front, getting the grass cut as well tomorrow, and then hockey at 3, baseball tonight until 10:30, and then golfing on Monday. So my son just finished golf camp.
Okay,
last
what do
week.
you do at golf?
What do you do at golf
You
camp?
just golf?
Yeah, you learn about golfing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Like, is it at a golf course?
It is.
Okay, that's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So you learn about putting and all that kind of stuff. So they only got out a couple times. So I'm going to take them out on a proper course, and we're going to have some fun there on Monday and just enjoy the weekend. You know, I think that that's something that we don't do enough. Honestly, the time just goes by. Like I was looking at, it's August 21st already, Adara.
I know.
Like it's so
fun.
funny because look, I mean, I like talking with people. Obviously, I talk all day, but I always default to two things. It's like how fast time flies and the weather. Like those are the two things that no matter who you're talking to, your grandparents, your friends, you guys out here, we can all have an opinion on where time has gone, especially if you have children, where time has gone, and then the weather. Because when it's too hot, you're complaining it's too hot. See, there it goes. When it's too cold out, cold as ice. Right there.
Cold as ice, willing to sacrifice.
Ice. Yeah, great song there, Adara. Thank you so.
Not that song.
I don't have my sunglasses over here, Fabian, so we can't necessarily do that. All right. Yeah, you know what? This is a place. Hey, what's up, David? David, you're in San Diego. I heard San Diego is like the best place to live, man. Like great weather, great food down there, sports teams, like everything. What's up, San Diego? Although I guess you lost the Chargers there, but shout out to San Diego. Let me know where you guys are residing right there. What's up to others? Zinc is still here with us late. It's 4:31. I got to go. I got stuff to do. What's up to Kyle, David as well. Save Man Woman is here. Roaring Griffin is here. South Jersey, Jack. I wonder where you're from. What's up, South Jersey? I was at Boston. It was a great time as well. Many, many great places. My parents just got back from out east here in Canada. Loved it. My dad said he'd never lived there, but loved out east. So
nice.
Shout out to everybody that's out east right now in Canada. But if you're in the Northeast, shout out to Hotlanta. What's up, Stevenson? Oh, yeah, we knew you were there. What's up, Stevenson? Hope you're doing well and hope you didn't fizz out on those trade the pool and all that accounts. I remember, I think Stevenson was one of the guys that say took like 8 or 9 times.
I remember that. Yeah,
to
that's
graduate.
correct.
So that's awesome. I mean, just to get funded is awesome. So
That's exciting.
congratulations there. We're not all funded around here, so that's obviously important. As prop firms, you got to hit certain levels to get funded. Congratulations to anybody that's done that. San Diego is the best state in Mexico. That's hilarious. Shout out to you along this as we go. Expensive and nice to visit San Diego. Okay, well, that would be a part for me. I have cousins in Fresno, California. So I've been to Fresno, like that San Fran, but I've never been to LA. That would be a little fun there. Talk about an expensive place to chill out. We talked about where we go for vacations last time, but that's it. I want to thank everybody for hitting the roll call and for staying late with us one more time here today as we are now overtime, all 2,500 of you. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a great day today for sure. All right, so these are your plans for tonight.
Sleeping.
Boom, sleeping. I'll be doing some of that as well, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you so much to everybody. Fabian, what are your plans tonight, my guy? Everybody's sleeping around here. Is there anything on TV these days? I don't really watch cable. You know, Thursday night used to be Friends. I never really watched Friends, but Seinfeld, The Office used to be Thursday night. Alien something? Alien Earth. I've never watched it, no.
I'm not a cable person.
All right, well, Fabian, sorry, Fabian, I don't even have you in my ear, so it's my bad on that one. There you go, yeah, people in the chat saying Alien Earth is great. So there we go, shout out to Alien Earth. All right, that's Adara, I'm Sean. Thanks, Fabian, for staying late with us. Thank you to everybody that's been a part of the show today. Thank you to everybody watching for sure. Back tomorrow at 8:30, except for me. So, ciao, until Tuesday. Have fun tomorrow. See ya.
See y'all.